Dad had always said to me since I was about 7, he's like, oh, we'll get you in front of Simon Cowell one day. And that was the only ever the aim to do. I wasn't ever going to go any further than that. He just wanted to know what Simon Cowell thought.
You had a bit of problem with the bullies at school?
Oh, yeah.
Did you pick up boxing?
I did pick up boxing.
I need to know about that. If you have to do like a charity boxing event, you have to box another musician. Who are you picking? What was your initial thoughts of the lads?
One, I just couldn't figure out how Niall lived in Ireland and how he was going to be in the band. I just was like, you live far away. So I am a little bit of a hermit. I've developed like a hermititis, let's say, at a certain age when we got really, really famous, and I just was like, I can't deal with going outside at this point because it was just everywhere you went, there was someone like waiting. I was part of this massive machine, and I knew my part in the machine very well, which, I mean, you know, towards the end of the band became like the loud drunken one, which I was very good at that too. So I knew what I was doing every day. But then when that machine falls away and you're in the world and the world's just happening around, like, where do you fit?
We want you to say whether you think that this really happened or not. Cosplayer Belle Delphine is now selling her own bathwater for $30 a jar.
It's true, because I've got 200. We were getting told off all the time, and they kind of put it onto me because I was like the most sensible. The manager's like, you know, it's going to be down to you, Liam, really. You're going to have to be the person sometimes that people don't like.
Oh, God!
So I'm like, I've been given this like Spider-Man power. With great power comes responsibility. I'm thinking, what do I do?
Can I play you a few YouTuber songs and see what you think of them? Naughty List, your new single that's out now. What's the naughtiest thing you've ever done?
I'll tell you one thing where I've got caught out for doing something naughty, and it was a really weird way to get caught out.
Your manager's currently shitting themselves.
Yeah.
Jack Mate's Happy Hour. Hello guys, and welcome back to Jack Mate's Happy Hour podcast. I'm here as always with Stevie White.
You lucky boy.
You alright?
Yeah, that was nice.
You look really nice today. You got like a glimmer in your eye.
Okay, that's a weird thing to start with a compliment.
Is that because of our guest?
Well, I'm quite sad, actually, about the guest because I've never felt this ugly in this studio before.
To be fair, you are one hell of a beautiful man. It's Liam Payne, ladies and gentlemen. How are you, mate?
Thank you very much. I'm very. That's put me in a different position, actually, hasn't it?
Has it?
A nice couple of compliments to start the day with.
Well, I mean, you met my missus when you came in, and I was actually a bit jealous. I was like, can you just not introduce yourself to her, please? We had Alex Zane on, the presenter, a couple of weeks ago, and Fiona really fancies him. I think you probably topped that a little bit, which is annoying. But you're actually engaged now, aren't you?
I am, yes.
Maya Henry, congratulations on that. How did you do it? How did you propose?
I proposed quite a while ago, actually, and it was one of the things that just didn't really come out with straight off the bat.
What do you mean, as soon as you met her?
No. No, I mean, like, as in it came out in the press quite recently that we got engaged. But we've been engaged for quite some time. And I actually did it. We were in Texas one time, and I'd kind of arranged it all with her mum, and we kind of set this like beautiful room up at her favourite restaurant. So she thought she was just going for dinner.
Oh, you charmer.
You got to do something, haven't you? Yeah. It was honestly, it's the most pressure I've ever felt in my life, though.
Yeah.
And I'd kind of done like a room full of like flowers and whatever else, and I was just kind of waiting in the middle of this like array of flowers.
Can you wait? Sorry,
the doors,
mate.
and then she was just like, "Here you are." But she's very shy, so like I was like, "Oh my god, she hates me."
I was hoping, because you're obviously a gorgeous specimen, I was hoping you'd be a prick. So can you just be a prick, please? Because if you are a nice person as well, then I'm definitely going to be single after this. Now, Liam, what?
He's still engaged.
Yeah, no,
that story hasn't ended with her saying no.
No, I'm not saying that she's going to be able to get Liam, but she's going to leave me because she knows that boys like Liam exist. That's what I'm going to say.
Okay,
and she's stuck with this little troll. Do you know what I mean? Now, Liam, you've travelled the world, sold millions of records, done all that lovely stuff. So what better place to start than what is your go-to meal deal?
Ooh, go-to meal deal.
Mm-hmm.
Do you even get meal deals?
Do you know what? I haven't seen a meal deal for quite some time, and I'm one of those people that gets to the till and then gets surprised with the meal deal afterwards. They're like, "Oh, if you get this, you can have some crisps and a drink and a Capri Sun as well if you're feeling fruity." But I think that's quite a solid meal deal, isn't it? You know, like a nice ham and cheese, maybe chicken and mayo sandwich.
Ham, cheese, chicken, and mayo. That is a hell of a sandwich.
Well, no, like, I was trying to decide like between the two.
Right, okay. We specifically need to know which one, mate, because we take this question serious.
This is the only serious question we do.
There's a turkey and stuffing sandwich as well, isn't there?
Yeah, we speak about that a lot on this show.
But sometimes the stuffing can be made of things you don't like. What? It changes everything.
Enlighten us.
Like the stuffing could have some sort of like fruity thing inside.
Oh,
You know what
right.
I mean, like you can't be mixing raisins with a piece of turkey.
You get that with coleslaw as
That's
well.
just daft.
I thought you meant like horse. Like horse stuff.
I mean, that, a few years ago would have depended on where you shop. You might have been eating there, you just wouldn't have known. That's so weird, isn't it, if we think about it?
What, that we were eating horse?
We had a little munch on a horse. And we didn't know.
Three minutes in.
You know, some of us might have come out of the shop and eaten something in there and gone, wow, that was bloody brilliant. And
Yeah.
not knowing that we just munched.
Had a bit of hoof in our teeth or something. Is it a
It's a
hoof?
lot to think about, isn't it?
It's a lot to think of. Well, we've got 2 hours, so we may as well. Just ponder
I
that.
saw the other day, I was watching these murder programs, right? Forensic Files, you know, the classic one where the guy's voice is quite relaxing. So it's like, I know it's weird before bed to watch like murders, but the guy's voice is kind of like, it's quite relaxing. You know what I mean? It's like, it's weird, isn't it? Because it kind of unsettles you a little bit. You're like, this is actually, I can chill out to this, but someone's just got murdered.
That's like your Marvin Gaye.
Honestly, go back and have a look at the man's voice in a bit and you'll see what I mean. And they had this town that had this like thyroid like disease going around the town, and then another town like a few kilometres over had the same thing, and they were trying to figure out what it was that was causing this disease. They were checking all the mice in the town and whatever else, you know, all of this sort of stuff.
Checking all of them. Just going, picking them up. No, it's not that one.
Hang on. And then they got to this factory that had changed from being a kosher factory to just a normal factory.
Right.
They were putting the gland out of the neck in the people's like ground up meat. And they all got a thing from it. Like, you don't know what you're eating these days, do you? We're getting horse, they're getting thyroid.
I think they've got the worst part of the deal
I think
there.
they do, yeah.
Have we ever met a guest, by the way, who personifies happy hour in the first 2-3 minutes? Do you know what I mean? This is our last 2 years of content you're summing up there. So you go on. So let's go back to your sandwich. So you got a weird stuff.
We were on my sandwich.
You got a horse stuffing sandwich.
Pack of knick-knacks.
Oh,
what
good
flavour?
shout!
The orange one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uy, ginawa mo.
Nice and spicy, I believe.
Yeah.
And then
Ay,
probably a
nakaipat ka
Capri
ba?
Sun, yeah.
Lovely. Do you know what? That's not a bad
I
shout.
think that's our first Capri Sun.
First Capri Sun, first knickknacks, and I was in a shop the other day and I saw knickknacks, and I almost went for a bag. I didn't, because I feel like you have to be in some kind of, like, you need to prepare yourself. You need to run up to knickknacks because there's a lot of spice in there. Not spice, but a lot of flavour.
A lot of flavour.
Yeah, you have
it's a
it's
very particular
like a
hour
little-
of the day.
And so I think we'll give him some good points for the knickknacks.
I like the sandwich.
Horse
with
stuffing.
Not with the horse, but you have an issue with stuffing in a sandwich.
I'm a believer that you should only have stuffing in your sandwich at Christmas time. It's festive.
Okay, yeah, no, I can feel that.
Yeah?
I can say that.
What do you think to cranberry in a sandwich?
I think it aggravates me by the sound of that noise. No, it wouldn't be for me. If I'm eating fruit, it's separate.
Yeah.
I've only just been able to extend to like a healthy eating fruit thing of like putting fruit in with like, you know, like rolled oats and whatever in the morning.
Are you a healthy? You're a healthy
I'm on a
man.
little bit of a healthy thing at the moment.
Oh, yeah.
It's not the most fun thing I've ever done.
What, are you cutting, bulking?
I was trying to bulk for a little bit because I did my whole Hugo thing and I'd done 3-4 months of proper training. But I've been training up to that point as well. And then the real training came along and I just was like, I wanted to fall over.
Yeah.
By the time I finished, you know, the last month alone was eating nothing but, you have a little bit of carbs in the morning, but then it's just like white fish for a month.
Oh.
It's the most boring. I mean, it works. I will say it works for sure.
Yeah.
My skin got really good. It does a lot of things for you.
Yeah, good oils and that.
It's just a proper.
I couldn't do it. We had a guy on a couple of weeks ago called Simon Newton, who was Michael Jackson's bodyguard
Right.
for like a week, and he said that he doesn't eat carbs from Monday to Friday, not a single carb, and then at the weekend he just does it. I don't know how you can operate like that.
No, I don't know either.
No.
I'd just be so angry.
He was
Yeah.
huge.
I've just given up vaping and I'm just the angriest man in the world.
Oh, yeah.
The slightest thing can set me off.
Oh, fair play to you. It's good to give it up though. Apparently you can get
Yeah, I mean,
apparently you can get popcorn lung if you vape. Have you heard about this?
All right.
Apparently.
Might have a bit of that.
What's your worst food, Liam?
Oh,
What would you not eat if somebody offered you £1 billion?
a good question. Jeez. Marmite for sure. I mean, that's
really?
quite an obvious one. But we used to go to Australia a lot, and they have like Vegemite, which is like
Is it different?
the same thing.
Oh, is it? Just different name. So do you not like what are they called? The crisps, the Marmite
Twizzlers.
No, they're not fucking Twizzlers. Come on. What,
Are they
turkey
not?
Twizzlers?
No, what are they?
By the way, turkey Twizzlers are making a comeback.
Yeah, they are.
You saw that?
Yeah, they are.
I'd be intrigued to try one.
But they'll come back and they'll be all healthy. They'll be like 20/20
what I'm
healthy.
worried about.
Yeah, if I want Twizzler, I want to know that there's a chance of having horse in there. Do you know what I mean? I'm not
That's where all the horses go in.
in the turkey Twizzlers. Twiglets.
That's what I was trying to say.
Twiglets. Do you like Twiglets?
I don't know if I've had a Twiglet.
They taste like Marmite, so probably not.
So you wouldn't like them. Now, Liam, you've been all around the world, mate, as we say. What's one restaurant, well, we have a little bit of food chat at the start. What's one restaurant you always have to go to when you're in a certain place?
One restaurant I always have to go to. These are so hard. There's a Nobu.
Okay.
There's a Nobu in Malibu that's near where I live. That's quite nice.
Oh, okay.
to go to. It's a nice scene. Like I am a little bit of a hermit. I've developed like a hermititis, let's say, at a certain age when we got really, really famous, and I just was like, I can't deal with going outside at this point because it was just everywhere you went, there was someone like waiting. So
Yeah.
it was like I just kind of developed that. And then over time, the weirdest thing over the last few years more than anything has been trying to integrate myself back into living a normal life and knowing that it's all right. Like I sweat in queues. I know that sounds weird,
Yeah.
but if I feel like if I'm moving, people don't spot me, so I'm always moving.
Right.
But if I stand in a queue and I've got to pay for something, like 9 times out of 10 I'll put it back before I pay for it because I'm just like, oh my god, like, I can't stand here any longer. Like, I need to
Really?
stop. And it might be an impatience thing, I don't know, but I know that if I stand still, I just start to like.
What is it? Anxiety?
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. At a certain point, I mean, there was times when we were in the band where there was a time when my house got set on fire, which is a great way to start any story.
What?
And I no one had found out where my house was at the press. And then straight after that happened, the house kind of got renovated. I moved back in, but everybody knew where my house was because it's been in the front page of the newspaper. And every day I would get people come from, like, I remember the very last people that was like the last straw for me. These people come all the way from Australia. And it's like 7 o'clock in the morning and I've just got out of bed, I'm in my PJs, I'm getting in the car to go to work to get ready and carry on and do whatever. And like, you kind of just want to walk out your house feeling a bit like with your guard down. And every time I'd walk out, there'd be like 19 girls stood by the thing screaming at me asking for pictures, and I'm like, I don't really want to take a picture right now.
Yeah.
And then what I realised was that they would like get really upset with me, and then they'd start like banging on my window. I thought, you can't start your day with people crying at you for not taking a picture every day, otherwise that's just going to send you around the bend. And it did.
Yeah.
Best believe. So,
Wow.
you know, I mean, the thing for me is I try my best to make time for people.
Yeah.
Go in and have a picture and spend a little bit of time, but there are times when you just don't really want to do that.
Well, mate, like literally, like obviously, know you're coming in, know you're one of the biggest stars on the planet. We have preconceptions of how people can be, and one of the soundest lads already. Do you know what I mean? Like walking in, he can tell you're one of the soundest lads already. But the thing is, yeah, because people recognise me from YouTube, not to any level of what you've experienced, obviously. But when you meet people in the street, and obviously, as you said, you might be busy, you might have other things on. You might have met 1,000 people that day, and then they meet you once, and their experience of you goes,
the worst thing ever, because you get like, it's a literal 50-50 that you're either, and you're never just in, oh, it was alright. You know, it's either the best person ever or you're the worst person.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
You have like 30 seconds to make either one of those boxes tick.
Yeah.
But this is what I was saying, like for me, it's like I have to force myself sometimes to go out and enjoy some stuff, because I've had to learn to like, I don't know, like go and be able to sit in a restaurant. Sitting in a restaurant for me sometimes I'm just worried like who's watching.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I don't want to sit uncomfortably. And I've got better at it over the past few years as I've got older, I think. But at the start, geez, I mean, there was no restaurants I want to go to. I was in room service, wouldn't leave.
Really?
Yeah, for years and years. And we were almost like trained and brought up that way, because when we first started One Direction, we would think that the like tour manager was our boss, even though we didn't know we were in charge. But we just come fresh off X Factor. We were like, 17 up to 19, I think it is. You know, the tour manager was in his 40s, I think. So it's like, how do I, who's in charge here? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just like, right, stay in your rooms. So we just used to like stay in our rooms. Like,
Oh, really?
Where can we go anywhere? Whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, this led to like us going into each other's rooms and then like throwing. I remember we got chucked out of one hotel for like throwing plates out the window. Or,
Oh, wow.
You're so bored in the room.
In Greece, you'd have got a certificate for that.
Would have been offended if we didn't.
Our plates are pristine, Liam. What the fuck are you playing at?
This leads me on to something else. That's just quite funny because I can remember we started off and we lived in hotels, and we all moved into this hotel together, and it's like one of those places where like loads of old people all go to like use the pool and whatever else. It's like a health club type thing, and so the average age in there was like between 60 and 80.
Right,
actually.
yeah.
And then there's us lot, just like rowdy teenagers, like whoa, running around the place. And I can remember one day I got a call from the manager, and the manager's like, they're a bit worried about us at this point. We've already had a number of tellings off in the Sony label. Like the day we got signed, we got one of the biggest tellings off ever. Right?
Did you?
Oh yeah. I actually can't even go into reasons why because it's too bad.
Oh, wow.
Killed a man.
Exactly. No, it's so we were getting told off all the time, and they kind of put it onto me because I was like the most sensible, and I don't know, there was something about me. I'd kind of like grown up around my dad, so I was a bit of a dad person. I was like a bit dad, going around my business with these rowdy lads. So the manager's like, it's going to be down to you, Liam, really. You're going to have to be the person sometimes that people don't like. So I'm like, I've been given this like Spider-Man power. With great power comes responsibility. I'm thinking, what do I do? And I can remember the first day of it, I'm like, I didn't tell the boys, like I didn't let them in on the secret that I'm like a narc. Like some weird One Direction narc. And the plates were going out the window. I'm thinking, how do you stop plates going out the window? You can't just shut the window because that's going to be even worse. There's people's cars are parked underneath the window and there's frigging plates going out. And then we left the room, and for some reason everyone's riding down the stairs on mattresses. Like, this is a good game to do at like 3 in the morning. So down they go, and I'm just thinking, right, this is my job screwed. Worse knocking it. Like, I have to blend in.
Is that
almost like they got me to like some sort of weird drug deal? They're like, you better get on there as well, just in case.
They catch you.
Is that what you were like at school then? Were you this kind of narc character back then?
No, to be honest with you, I wasn't. I was always quite sensible. The thing is, because I went on X Factor the first time when I was 14, before I met the boys as a solo artist, and I got quite far. And my dad had always said to me since I was about 7, he's like, we'll get you in front of Simon Cowell one day. And that was the only ever the aim to do. I wasn't ever going to go any further than that. He just wanted to know what Simon Cowell thought of my voice.
Oh, wow.
So when I put myself in for the show at 14 and we managed to get to, because obviously there's loads of pre-rounds before you can get to Simon, and then I was in Simon's house in Barbados in the last 24. And I couldn't believe how far I got. I was 15 years old, and it was nuts.
Yeah.
And then I got let go, and then
He told you to come back, didn't he, in 2
told me
years?
to come back in 2 years. And I had dinner with him. My mum was there in his house. It was really weird because he just told me no, and I absolutely hated him at the moment. I was thinking, you bugger. And I was sat having dinner with the fella, and my future manager of One Direction's there, and whatever else, and we're all sat there having dinner together. Wider conspiracy. Then I went back to school, and you can imagine I've just been there, and then I ended up back in school, and I'm sat in Spanish class on a Friday, and I've got nothing against the language, but it's terribly hard to learn, and it wasn't very interesting.
Language was always boring, always boring.
Great.
No.
I mean, I've got a song in Spanish, and I still don't know what it says. So, I mean, you can see how that was going for me. But I'd be out performing at gigs and be on stages in front of thousands of people, and then back in Spanish class on a Friday thinking, what am I doing here? It was a really weird, like I knew what I was going to try and do.
Yeah.
And that's what kind of led me into being so sensible. I didn't want to drink, I didn't want to do any of this stuff, I didn't want to do anything else. I was like, no, I'm going back on X Factor in a few years, and it really was part of my life. So when I watch X Factor now, I can't watch it and when they kind of have somebody on a little bit like, oh, you're the next best,
Right.
I can't deal with it, because I'm like, I know what that's going to do to that person's life.
Yeah.
And I'm lucky because I went through and obviously went on again and got to where we got to, whatever, great. But it really sits with you, especially at a young age as well. So it was like, I was a cocky little shit at school at times because I was just like, I don't need school. I was failing everything, by the way.
Yeah.
I was on like D's, U's and E's up until like the last 2 or 3 days from the year, and I was the only kid in my year, I think, who got like a parents' evening where we had to go and see the head of the year.
What is that purely just because you knew your heart was into other stuff? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I
think so, but I just also I wasn't sure of myself that it was going to happen because I didn't really ever think it was going to happen. It was a dream at that point. But also, I don't know, like, yeah, it does go to your head as a kid, 100%, You look at someone... the thing is, I always put it like this. Since I was 14, I've always been in a place where I'm almost world famous. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
And even though I wasn't, I mean, I remember going to the theme parks with my parents before One Direction. There was people noticing me in America from X Factor, and that's from 14. And I didn't really used to leave Wolverhampton all that much, and everybody knew who I was. And for the first few years, it was great. It was so much fun, and like everybody, I got banned from part of the school because the all-girls school used to come and like jump on the fence, and so you could see my head's getting bigger and bigger. And then the last year of it, because you haven't really gone anywhere, and it was 2 years before I could go back on, they realised I was still in the same place as everybody else. Then I was just like the town wanker, like everyone. Just
really?
like, yeah, just get ridiculed in the street. You know? The worst one I ever had, I was in a McDonald's with a girlfriend I was with at the time. It was a classy guy. I'd take you to McDonald's. This is really funny.
She's loving it.
She didn't last. It didn't last very long. And we went upstairs, and I'm sat down with my meal. We sat down at a table together, and some kid stands at the top of the stairs and shouts, "X Factor reject," and runs off. And I can remember being like mid about to bite burger, and then I'm just like, everyone's looking at me, and I just felt the biggest
God,
twat in the world.
Yeah, that's not even creative. He could have been creative. Do you know what I mean? That's like the worst.
It's not the best one in the world.
No,
But he was right.
Right.
I couldn't tell him he was wrong.
But getting rejected at the point you got rejected is still better than most.
Yeah, sorry, mate. I've been having lunch with fucking Simon Cowell in Barbados. So you went back 2 years later, and it blew up from there.
It blew up. I mean, my dad likes to tell me this. The one fact about me from X Factor is I'm the contestant that got told no more times than anyone, but still made it, which my dad loves to keep saying.
Wow.
Like, amazing, which is good in one sense, but then like, I really fucking had to fight for that shit.
Yeah. But does that mean more?
In a sense it does, yeah. I just think the more he drills into me that I got told no, I'm like, thanks for that, Dad. I was thinking he loves to bring it out like it's some big boy fact. My dad, by the way, bless him, he loves it.
Does he?
He loves it, mate. He knows what number someone came on ITV2 the year I was on. Like, he'll know anything. And obviously, you know, he was at Cheryl's house the other day, obviously seeing my son, and like, he just can't stop himself talking about X Factor. And obviously, she knows more than anyone about it.
Yeah.
So they're just talking about it, and I can't remember what it was. He was talking about someone on ITV2 asking Cheryl if she remembers, and she was like, "I haven't got a clue." And he's like, "Oh no, I've got the video."
just saved on his phone.
He loves it though.
The first time you went on, you sang "Fly Me to the Moon."
Yeah.
And the second time was Michael Bublé's version of "Cry Me a River." Let's imagine that you never made it, right? And you had to audition for X Factor this year.
Ooh.
What would your song choice be?
Ooh, I mean, it's totally changed, actually. I'll tell you what, I was just listening in the car to John Mayer. I love John Mayer.
Class.
And I feel like...
What's your favourite John Mayer song?
There's one called Something's Missing that's really, really cool. And then there's another one... I have to look up the name of it.
I like Who Says.
Edge of Desire.
Not sure.
Really great. Who Says is
Who Says is a great song.
I just know, I'm one of these people...
Doesn't smoke, though, you know.
Does he not? Well, because he references it in the song, doesn't he?
He does, but I think it was more... I spoke to him about it briefly. It was more about the idea of the freedom than the actual thing that he was doing.
Oh, right.
You know, Who Says is more about the... But it's just something that I suppose it makes it more for everyone who does.
Yeah, for sure. So what song are you picking? What are you going for?
I'm going to go Edge of Desire, John Mayer, just because it's my favourite.
Oh, lovely stuff. Now, I think it'd be weird to bring you on here and not talk about the band, not talk about One Direction, but we're not going to have a whole show about it. But what I want to know, what was your initial thoughts of the lads?
Like I said, I mean, my thing was that I'd been brought up and I was very much around my dad quite a lot and his mates. I was always around people who were older than me, so I was a little bit of a little old man.
Right.
You know, I'm one of them kids that people say, "Oh, he's a very old soul." None of us know what it means. We're like, "Oh, I'm grown up." Don't ask me questions. I'll know
Stop
the
smashing
answer.
plates.
You know, exactly. Stop it. The narc.
There might be horse in that burger. Put it down.
So for me, it was like bumping into these guys at first, and I'd never really gotten on with like a group. Like all my mates are quite quiet. And it was only my manager who said it to me quite recently. He's like, you know, you like quite quiet people. And I was like, I do actually. And I'm not a loud bugger, so
Yeah, but
it's the sound of my own bloody voice.
Do you reckon that's because you've had quite a loud life, though? Do you know what I
I
mean?
just want to turn the volume down.
Yeah, for sure.
So as soon as I met them, it was just like, one, I just couldn't figure out how Niall lived in Ireland and how he was going to be in the band. I just was like, you live far away. So,
And then you discovered trains and planes,
Yeah,
and I was, that's how they do it.
well, before that, we were all very small town people, so I was thinking, how does he lives over there, where are we going to rehearse? Like, I was all very business with it, like, what's this going to work out like? And it was difficult at first, because I was already quite known throughout whatever, so there was obviously very big egos within in the band, including mine as well. You know, I'm not afraid to say it. So we all went to Harry's house and we all sang at the same time on everything. So it was a unison group at first because we couldn't get onto each other about who would sing what. And it's a good job they have people behind the scenes who will go, yeah, probably best if you sing this bit or you sing that bit, because otherwise it would have just been a mess.
Is that because are you trying to fight for what you consider to be the best line, or like what?
I don't know. I mean, I've often thought this. What is the best? I mean, the chorus comes around more than anything, so maybe that's the best. But then it's quite nice to open the song as well. And
yeah.
The mid-late's the most passionate part of the songs is when it's the highest, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Different parts. So it's. You would argue yourself what if you got a good bit or not. You know, if you were like later on in like the second half of the second verse, like you're thinking that's probably not the best part.
Do you feel like you got quite a lot of good bits then?
At the start, 100%, and just purely because. And like I had people after we finished the show and whatever tell me this. It was just because I'd done so many shows leading up to that 2 years of before X Factor that I'd played every audience in the world. I'd played old people's homes. I'd played stadiums. I'd played whatever you could think of. I played the really good ones and the really, really bad ones. So nothing bothered me. And when you're opening that door, and on the year we were on X Factor, it was 20 million people down that lens. So as soon as the door opens, that camera's right here, you cannot fail. So they used to throw me in at the start to settle everybody, because once you're in the performance, it's like time to go. And everyone kind of went, as soon as I started, which was like my job to start the band, which I enjoyed that bit. That was quite fun. It was nice to have that, responsibility.
Weird one, just going back to school before we go back to what happened after that. I read that you had a bit of problem with the bullies at school.
Oh, yeah.
Did you pick up boxing?
I did pick up boxing.
I need to know about that. Were you handy at all?
To be honest with you, boxing's kind of everything that's come back into my life a little bit as well. I've been training with a guy recently, and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu as well.
If you had to do like a charity boxing event, you have to box another musician. It doesn't have to be a real feud that you've had. Who are you picking? Who are we going to? I want to see you box someone, Liam. Basically,
that's a good question.
Do you go for someone easy, or you could easily beat?
Yeah.
Or
well, I mean, I heard like Jake Paul's like fighting Mayweather or something, isn't he?
Logan.
Yeah.
One of the Pauls.
Yeah. No. Jake Paul's fighting on the Mike Tyson undercard, because Mike Tyson's coming back for a charity.
Crazy, right?
Yeah, mad.
Can't wait to see what happens there.
He looks handy.
But he didn't fall asleep in an interview the other day, though.
Who, Mike Tyson?
Apparently so, yeah. Did he? And he made some like real boxing line about his like a lion hunts like a lion, sleeps like a lion, or something.
He's a boss.
Some big boy.
He's an absolute boss.
Like, yeah. Don't wait, the sleepy lion.
I think. Have you seen any footage of Jake Paul sparring?
No, do you know what? I actually didn't see very much of that one. We got to see the Tyson Fury fight really recently.
Yeah,
which was
against Wilder.
Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah,
I loved it. And we had tickets that were we'd given money at a charity auction for these tickets. And, I mean, we gave quite a bit of money, and then luckily someone called me from way back in the day. There was a friend of mine who was like one of the promoters for the fight. He's like, "Oh, I'll bring you to your seats. I'm going to change where you sit." And I was like, "Great!" I thought this is going to be nice. Bring up on the front row by the stairs.
Oh, nice.
And like at the end of the fight, right? You've got to imagine all of his family were right behind us, trying to get into the ring, and my manager was stood by the fence like this. And for some reason, he just ended up being in charge, which often happens with my manager.
Yeah.
He's like letting people jump the fence every so often to get into the ring. It was so weird.
Wow. Where was it? Was it in
Vegas?
Vegas. Fucking hell. So
brilliant.
You're still a boxing fan now, then?
Yeah. I mean, I don't pay enough attention to a lot of these sports, but when something really good comes on, I jump on it a little bit.
But you haven't seen any of the YouTube ones?
I haven't seen any of the YouTube ones yet.
No. See, we were talking about this last night, weren't we, Stevie? Like Jake Paul. How much do you know about YouTube and YouTubers?
I know a little bit. I'm starting to learn more about it. Obviously, it's become a very big part of my world, especially over lockdown. And I think for me, more than anything with YouTube, let me put it like this. When you're in the position that I'm in and you've got this lovely, wonderful fan base and you feel like you're communicating with them in the right way, and I think every celebrity / pop star or whatever people do, think they're communicating in the right way. And then what I learned over the lockdown period is that you think you're communicating in the right way by leaving these messages, but there's a way to communicate with them better. And for me, that's been the YouTube.
Right.
Because every interview I do, I'm talking through somebody else and what they ask me.
Yeah.
So everything I say is on like a second, there's always a middleman, whereas YouTube takes that away for me, which I think's been the best thing. Whereas if I have anything I want to say, I can just say it myself now without somebody being in the way.
So you've got your own channel out now?
Yeah, we have a channel out now, and I do like a roundup video every so often. And then they're getting in a nice place at the moment. Some of them have been a little bit better than others, but I'm trying to find my rhythm with it, because you just want to figure out what your your thingies on YouTube, don't you?
Yeah.
So everyone's like, what's my gimmick? Do I open toys or do I, what's the
Just start doing that.
Oh, I'm going to start, popping the Kinder eggs open, whatever it is.
Pokemon cards are a big thing at the
It's
moment.
been a big thing at them, and there's a lot of money in them as well.
Yeah.
Actually. Someone pull a 75 grand Pokemon card out of it.
Madness.
Can't be real. I've got 225 grand at the house at home somewhere.
Well,
Gathering dust.
It's worth something to someone, so give it a go.
75 grand though.
Logan Paul bought an original first edition what is it
Booster
called?
pack.
Booster box. He bought it
Yeah.
for 200k. And then I think, I don't know the specifics, right? But he's bought it for 200k, unopened box. And by the way, my nan, when we were younger, she used to bring home one of them for me every month. And I just crack them open as any kid does. If I'd have stockpiled them now.
Sofa.
Yeah, it's mad. I've lost all my old cards. I'm gutted. But Logan Paul bought these. How many packs do you get in? I think you get about 40 packs.
Yeah, and he auctioned them off.
He sold each pack for $11,000 to other YouTubers.
That's about 7 cards or something, isn't it? Like an individual.
And then he opened them in a live stream and got millions and millions of views. And then they're going to send them off and sell them and whatnot. But Pokemon cards are booming. We had a guest last
It's to do with his StockX app. Have you seen that? StockX.
No.
It's an app where you can trade collectibles, fashion, and other stuff. It's actually really quite good.
What
It'll show you the market of what happens with say a Coors item, for example.
Yeah.
Coors items, everyone's trying to buy the Coors holiday thing or the Lilo and whatever, and it'll show you what the market does on certain days. And it is wild for collectibles and things do these days.
Wow.
They're so interesting.
That's mad. Wait, were you a Pokemon fan?
I was.
Was you?
I was.
What's your favourite Pokemon?
Charizard, it had to be. There's a Charizard shiny about.
You should get into it. You should do that on your YouTube channel.
Maybe that's my new hobby.
Yeah.
Lockdown hobby.
Yeah, collect some Pokemon cards. I'll tell you what are you doing at the moment on your channel?
At the moment, it was meant to be like a weekly roundup, but then I realised I was rounding up weeks that had nothing in them because we can't go anywhere.
Right, yeah.
So then it would kind of just turn into me watching a few videos, reacting to some stuff, to some different fan content, and it was a way to have the fan content, and rather than me going, oh, that's nice,
yeah.
to be able to actually go, wow, this is amazing, this girl had drawn this picture, and then da-da-da-da-da, and then, in another bit they'll put something scary in, and me and my team kind of set it up together. I won't say we fine-tuned it yet because I'm still very much finding my feet, but I think that what it gives me more than anything is a chance for people to see me as me.
Really
In my
authentic
own
way.
home,
Yeah.
Sitting there just talking crap.
Yeah.
Which is, it's fine for me for now.
That's spot on though, because like you say, you must do so many interviews. It gets watered down. You might get told what you can and can't say. But with a YouTube channel, that is as real as you can get.
It's all yours.
How many subscribers is the channel on? Do you know?
Not a clue.
Not a clue. So shall we do the game that we did with Jack Whitehall, where we try and boost his
I
YouTube
love Jack
channel?
Whitehall.
Yeah, we had him on a couple of weeks ago, and he's trying to grow his YouTube channel as well, right? And from my olden days, there's the way in which you grow on YouTube, Liam, is YouTube beef. Right, YouTube beef. Yeah.
You need some drama.
So you need some drama.
Beef with.
So we create some fake beef on here right now with someone.
Oh, let's just.
Why don't we go
just make some fake me Jack Whitehall beef?
Oh, that's really good. There's layers to this now. We're
gonna
I
suddenly
know
create
where he
them.
drinks. You can go in there and say hello.
So we managed to get Jack Whitehall to say down the lens towards Lawrence McKenna, who's the co-host on True Geordie's podcast.
Right.
Basically just how much he hates him and that he wants to fight him. So we need to do the same. You going at Jack Whitehall now.
Let's beef this up. It's completely fake, but we love it.
I've got really funny. There's a funny story that I was in. It was Chiltern Firehouse at one time, and
What is that? I'm not going to pretend I know.
it's like a nice it's like a sceney bar.
Right.
So
Okay.
you want to go somewhere and there's going to be loads of people about, loads
Yeah.
of faces,
Yeah.
faces in the room. That's the place.
Okay. Right.
And I was in there, and Jimmy Carr was in there,
Yeah.
and Jack Whitehall. And I ended up, for some reason, in the middle of both of them. at the bar,
what a
which was
sandwich
just
that is.
The best thing ever. And Jack had started going on about Eurovision, and I can't say what the neg was online because he's going on about Eurovision, I love Eurovision, whatever else. And you can imagine Jimmy's face. He's like, what do you mean you like Eurovision? Well, at uni we used to play this game all the time. And he's like, well, that sounds interesting. So I can't say the full story because obviously, but we can be like, after listening to what Jimmy had said about you, I've just started to really hate you.
Look into this camera, Liam, and call out Jack Whitehall for the scumbag he is.
Actually, and as well, Jack at the Brits dropping me in it when I was walking on the stage like that, when I was trying to not let on that anything was going on in my life that wasn't going on in my life, or was, to those who may be watching. No, actually, I have got a really, really funny story about that.
Perfect place.
There was something going on with Jack and someone who I can't say because that's not my place to say.
Okay.
And someone that I happened to be with, that was the person that you mentioned at the Bray Awards, literally ripped, apparently, like, went in on him for saying that joke at the Brit. I mean, I take it as a joke.
Yeah.
That's what it is, but she's not happy.
Oh, really?
Ooh.
Really?
Ooh.
And Jack, we're not happy with you, mate. And Liam...
Well, I'm not happy either. You got me in a lot of shit that night. Mate. All right?
Your YouTube channel is blowing up right now.
So me and you were going to do a charity boxing match.
There we go.
Okay, that's the answer. That's the answer. This is now a clip on YouTube called Liam Payne offers Jack Whitehall out for a fight. Who would win that fight? I'd pay to watch it.
I'd go Liam.
Yeah?
He's just been talking about jiu-jitsu, and then you've got Jack Whitehall.
Yeah, Jack
I
Whitehall.
saw something this morning because I've been quite interested in TikTok. So they've got these TikToker houses, right? And I was looking through something popped up this morning, and there's like one guy from TikTok who's in like the Sway House
Yeah.
or the Wave
House. I've done a video on this. I've done a video on
Is there a
it.
Sway?
There's a Sway, there's a Wave, there's loads of them, mate, all over the place.
I'm intrigued to see where you're going with
And
this.
one of them was like calling someone out, but not just for a boxing match, for an MMA fight.
Yeah, YouTubers have moved to that now.
An MMA fight. Are you knees and elbows? Like, you do not want any of that. It's not going to help your video promotion afterwards if you've got a big elbow in the eye.
Yeah, I think it would bang though, wouldn't it? Imagine if they lost their teeth and then they did a video like that. Views.
And like, I like a scrap, right? I'm not joining in that one. An MMA one, not a chance.
You're all over TikTok now, aren't you?
Not a chance. I've been dabbling with TikTok a little bit. I mean, it's difficult because what I find is when you're... I've not been able to really enjoy any of the apps that we've used so far because they're always so closely watched by, you know, my management or my label or whoever else is involved. Whereas with TikTok, it feels like it's meant to be stupid. And I am quite naturally a bit stupid sometimes. So I like to do stupid... I mean, I've got the drafted video of me jumping around like a frog somewhere that I have decided whether I will or not won't put out.
Amazing.
But this is what happens in my house at night time when we're all bored of COVID television and Netflix haven't put anything new out.
Yeah.
So it's been quite fun, and I've really fallen in love with TikTok as a place where I can just have some fun. But you know, everything kind of creeps in where people are like, you're posting too much, you're posting too little. And I'm like, I don't really care. Like, it's just like I'm just gonna tick and talk as much as I can until I can't tick and talk anymore.
You are an old soul.
Now, what we like to do sometimes when we have mainstream sort of celebrities in, we did this with Ricky Gervais, right? We like to take our domain, which is the world of YouTube, and your domain, which is the world, and and see if there's much of a crossover. So, Liam, you said you don't know too much about YouTube, you dabble here and there. We thought we'd play a little game where we give you 7 headlines that revolve around YouTubers, and you've
as
got...
long as they're not my headlines.
They're not your headlines.
It's like the worst episode of This Is Your Life ever.
And we want you to say whether you think that this really happened or not.
Oh, what?
And just bear in mind, I will be keeping score.
Okay.
So
No, I like
this
score.
is serious.
This is aimed just to show you how mental the world of YouTube can be. So the first one we have is Jay, YouTube prankster, cements his head in microwave and has to be rescued by the fire brigade.
Do you remember I told you I had that house fire? I'm just kidding. Cemented his head in a microwave.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that would happen.
But with cement?
Yeah,
Probably.
yeah, with cement. Yeah. So obviously it'd be when it's liquid. Put it on. I imagine look like robot, and then
Oh, that's what he went for.
yeah,
It's all gone wrong.
yeah,
On TikTok.
yeah.
I'm going to go false with that one just to start off, just to see if you're testing me.
I am testing you, Liam, and bad start. It happened.
Oh my God, what?
It happened.
We've got pictures so it didn't happen.
It was in the papers.
Two YouTube. They're from your neck of the woods, actually. Where are you from, Liam? You're from Birmingham way.
Wolverhampton.
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 They're from. I think they're from. Where are they from? TGF. Oh, yeah, Fee's getting up now. So yeah. So Jason England cemented a microwave on his head, and then he couldn't chisel it out, so he had to get the fire brigade to come. Got in a little bit of trouble for that,
The
obviously.
shock on your face.
Look at Liam's face.
He cement. What I would just want to know what the outcome was supposed to. What was supposed to. That wasn't, you know, like when you look at a situation. Like, I mean, worst case scenario, I could get stuck in there. But what was the best scenario of that moment?
I have no idea.
Where was that meant to end up?
So he's got a tube, right? He's got a tube coming out, so obviously he can get oxygen.
Oh my God! Look at the thought process.
There's a horrible bit in the video that actually made my heart sink a little bit, where he goes, "Bro, I can't breathe. I can't breathe," because the cement squashed the was the tube. So it's a race against time to try and get it out. Yeah.
My God,
But-
that could have gone so bad.
I think they're from a little place between Birmingham and Wolverhampton. So your end. Right, 0 out of
Wow.
1, Liam. So the next one is meet Ariane Sino, the YouTuber who swapped her son for a box of Kit Kats.
I like how straight away he would have said false, but after seeing the first one, he's like,
Once you see a man head
I was
cement
trying to
his-
weigh up the possibilities. Is it legal to swap your child for some Kit Kats?
No, but anything's possible on the black market.
Right.
and
the-
on YouTube, apparently.
On the dark web. I love
I'm
those.
going to say false.
You're going to say false.
You are correct. That's my
I'm
girlfriend.
I'm so happy.
See, this is the thing, to get around the legality of it, we've actually, for the
Yeah.
fake ones, we've used
That was
people
just
we know.
my girlfriend. She hasn't. Why Kit Kats?
I needed to do something believable, and I went on her profile to try and get some inspiration, and her cover photo is a Kit Kat.
Oh, wow.
Because she drew a Kit Kat, didn't she?
She drew it. It isn't
Yeah.
just a photo of a Kit Kat.
That'd be weird. Number 3, cosplayer Belle Delphine is now selling her own bath water for $30 a jar.
It's true because I've got some. I'm just she's selling her bathwater for $30.
Yeah.
We're on 1 out of 2.
Do you know what a cosplayer is?
Do they go to Comic Cons?
Pretty much, yeah. They dress up as characters and whatnot.
And they're really good at it.
Yeah, really good at it. Belle Delphine tries to be, well, not tries to be, but she's more of like an adult kind of one. Hence why she's potentially selling their bathwater for $30.
Right. Okay. Now with that new information brought to light, I mean it's probably true, isn't it?
There we are. 2 out of 3. You're
Two out of three.
You're doing well now.
That's true.
Yeah, welcome to Happy Hour, by the way. This is pretty much what
Water.
I do love that first one has now set his mind into it, and he
Yeah.
So
yeah.
funny that's she's found a business there that
Yeah.
she can never run out of.
I know.
She can never have too many baths.
Here we
you
go.
are.
Here she is. Selling bathwater. No comment on that, I
I
think,
wonder if
Fee.
she ends up very wrinkly at the end of the day from that, just all that hard work.
I think she
making
got-
bathwater.
hard work.
I think she got in some legal problems.
There was a thing with people drinking it once they'd bought it.
Liam's
So she
eyes
had
just
to put some
widened.
sort of like, this is not for
She had to disclose that because
disclaimer on her bathwater.
YouTubers were buying it and drinking it.
Do
I know.
anything for views.
It's ranked.
Anything for a couple subs.
Yeah, a couple subs. Right, you're doing well, mate, to be fair. 2 out of 3. 4 more to go.
It's not easy.
Sam.
not easy.
No, it's tough. That's why we start with the head cement one, because once you've seen that, anything could be fucking feasible.
Jesus.
Sam Pepper criticised for prank, which seemingly shows him murder his 2 best friends on a rooftop.
This is true, isn't it?
Yeah.
No. I think my mate used to hang around with Sam Pepper, and I heard some quite sordid things about the young fella.
Yeah, there we go. 3 out of 4.
3 out of 4. That's not bad. You're doing very
so
well.
much better than I thought. So much better than I thought. YouTuber Robbie Knox faces court for accidentally putting his son Arlo in the back of a bin lorry.
I hope that's true.
Are you going for false?
Yes.
And also Arlo is just a little shout out to Arlo. He's the cutest little kid I've ever seen in the world, isn't he?
I hope he's not having a ride in a bin lorry at the moment.
It's actually true. He got recycled. No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
Robbie Knox, you actually walked past Robbie Knox to come in here.
Yeah. Robbie Knox is a friend of the show and a host of the show, friend of the show. He'll love that, won't he?
This is so unsettling in
Look
places.
how tense you are. So what are we on? What are we on?
We are on 4 out of 5.
4
so
out of
2
5.
left.
Yeah.
And you've already got more than 50% no matter what.
I say if
Does that mean I don't go home with nothing?
You're still going home with nothing.
if you get at least 5 right, everyone has to go over and sub to your YouTube channel if they haven't
amazing.
already.
Yeah, that's true.
YouTuber Shane Dawson denies sexually abusing his cat.
You didn't have to do that at the end.
This is true. He's the one who does like conspiracy videos, no?
He is.
And
He
he's
is.
in a lot of trouble recently.
He's been in a lot of trouble. Yeah.
He's had a life.
He's had a hard life. Eyes that have seen too much.
I won't even ask what that's about.
His cat's eyes have seen too much.
True.
It's true. We should just say he has denied that. He has denied it. So it's not happened. But that was a headline that we read. So
5 out of 6.
5 out of 6.
Final one.
It's decent, you know. It's decent. Last one. YouTuber Bambino Becky breaks world record for selling a picture of her feet for $1.5 million.
Wow. I'm just going to say true because I hope it is, because that's pretty cool.
And you can't explain to your missus why 1.5 million's left your bank account, can you?
Bathwater and now this.
You've got me in the corner.
That is, Stevie, do you want to reveal?
False.
Oh.
I'm sorry to disappoint there, but
Yeah, so you got 5 out of 7, so that's good. So what's your YouTube channel? We need to get people to go over and sub.
I actually don't know what it is.
I was about to say, even if they do, he won't know because he doesn't know what he's currently on.
Later on in the show, we are going
I was
to
just making a fake channel as quick as possible.
just to gain it.
I'm sure if you search Liam Payne, it's not going to be hard to
I
find
think
it,
it
though.
is just Liam Payne.
Oh, we should come up with some names for your channel. What would be good?
I like. You know what? My show needs a name.
Does it?
Yeah. Because it was a roundup, but it's not really rounding anything up at the moment. I mean, what is there to round up?
Yeah, nothing's really happened, is it?
That's what everyone kept phoning me like, right, you need to do a video for YouTube, and I'm like, what the hell am I rounding up?
What is your show then? Talk us through it. What's the concept?
It's me talking crap. Is that a good title?
Payne. It's got
You're trying to figure something that rhymes, aren't you?
No, it's got to be a pun on pain.
Liam laid bare.
That sounds like
That sounds
porno.
really sexual, yeah.
Isn't it?
Your
was
marketing
going
team
with-
just crossing it out.
Liam's. No, because then it's time stamped if I say something about lockdown. I was trying to
Yeah.
go for the alliteration, guys.
Payne.
Lockdown with Liam.
Everything's so sexual, isn't it?
Yeah, but this was a big problem for me. This
Right.
was a big problem for
What,
me. for a
everything
while.
being too sexual?
Yeah.
We've never had that problem.
No, this
No.
was honestly this stuff. Honestly, I used to get. Obviously, you know, my first song was "Strip That Down." One of the first songs that I got sent was from Ed Sheeran. I'm like, wow, this is amazing. Rewrote a couple of things to make it fit more to my life, but we went with it. And then every single song that's followed since has been something that's a little bit sexual. So I'm like, when I walk into a room with writers now, I'm like trying to dodge anything that's a little bit sexy because it just comes off a certain way, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I'm actually not like that.
What about
I'm
you-
not a total horn dog. You know?
You're an engaged man.
Yeah.
It's just like there's other things to write about in life.
You say you're not a horn dog, but then you've got 30 tubs of bathwater on your shelf at home.
You know?
What's your new? Let's talk about your new single, "Naughty List." Is that
Here we go.
Is that a bit raunchy, Liam?
This is what I'm saying.
He's saying he's trying to
This is
avoid
the
it.
problem. I am trying to avoid it, but it just keeps on coming back. Yeah, we got this Christmas song. I mean, for this one, it's a really fun song, right? And we did a very solemn Christmas song last year, and I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun to do, and we had a writing camp, and this was another song that came from that writing camp, and I was always kind of worried about the cheesy aspect of Christmas, but this is the kind of the song that you kind of grow up with, Kisses Under the Mistletoe, all of that type thing. So it's just
Nostalgia.
one of those fun Christmas songs, really.
Yeah. Did you write this one?
I had a little bit to do with the writing. I won't say I wrote a lot of it.
Right,
I was in and out. We had a lot of rooms set up in one place, and I'll go in and just kind of. I find for me, songwriting lately, I'm better at editing than I am at coming up with the idea myself. So I'll go in and listen to a song and then be able to work it around my life rather than sit and write the song out. Just, everybody works in different ways.
sure.
With this one, I was just worried about some of the cheesy elements in it, and it's lost a lot of those cheesy elements, but it's Christmas.
Yeah, that's like you say. That's what you've got to do. Christmas is about being
you don't
cheesy.
want to be JB from JLS going Merry Christmas in the middle of the song either, And every time I'd hear this one bit of the song that we got rid of, which was like Merry Christmas, all the lovers, I'm like, no. I said to the people on there, I was like, I'll record it, but I can guarantee you by the time the song comes out, it won't be in there. And then they sent it me a year later and tried to sneak it back in, and I'm like, guys,
No, you'd be
Merry
ruined.
Christmas, all the lovers. I'm not saying Merry Christmas to any lovers.
You'd be memed.
Yeah, exactly.
But then that might be good for your YouTube channel. Become a meme.
But is that what is that where I want to go in life?
I don't know. You have to ask yourself them questions.
Pain. I have honestly. There's a strong portion of the internet that likes to take my really serious when I've tried to be sexy in a photo,
Yeah.
and turn them into weird memes, and they're all they all seem to be from the K-pop fan.
Yeah,
base.
mate, that's such a trend at the moment, isn't it? K-pop, online, the fans of K. Well,
Well, I mean, I
1D
get
fans.
ridiculed by all of them, so I mean, I know more than most, and I mean, I'm all right with it. It's okay, it's a bit of fun, whatever. But it'll be like me, really seriously looking into the camera with a pouty look that I have a lot of the time.
Blue steel.
Annoying. And then they'll be like, I've pooped or something in the corner of the photo.
That is quite good.
And it's it could be anything. There's a lot of them are themed around poop and pooing, farting or whatever.
Brilliant.
And then so that's my life. Now if I go online and
K-pop fans are quite strange, aren't they?
K-poop fans. As they get called now. I'm going to be cancelled by the fans for this, aren't I?
The thing is, we all like K-pop, but they hate us for some reason.
Yeah, it's weird when you don't do anything as well. I've noticed.
I stood quite close to a couple of
What,
K-poppers.
K-pop fans don't like you?
Just
Why?
because you're a different
Because
band.
we were a band once and we did well.
But look, he's going on record today saying he likes K-pop.
No, I do
so-
like K-pop. I mean,
Yeah.
I was really interested by wanting to watch that new Blackpink documentary.
Oh yeah, I've heard about it.
And
yeah.
they went to like a school to learn
Just
be
to learn that.
Blackpink.
What? So in this school, is there loads of other?
Yeah.
Oh,
and then
wow.
they put them into different I haven't watched it yet, so I couldn't be talking like this is my imaginary dream. But I'm sure that's what I heard in the promo, and I was
Right.
like, what?
Wow, weird time.
I
Now,
mean, it's kind of what happened to us. We got shoved together, and they said,
I want to talk a bit more in the second half of the show about 1D and your solo career and all that fun stuff. But before we go for a little break, Naughty List, your new single that's out now. What's the naughtiest thing you've ever done?
the
Field of wheat.
naughtiest thing I've ever done. Yes, I've ran through the fields of wheat. Is that from
Theresa May?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. What's the naughtiest thing I've ever done?
Because you did say you was a bit of a boffin. Like all the other boys would be doing naughty stuff. You'd be going to stop.
Yeah,
that now.
you're the narc.
So, have you ever done anything?
I'll tell you one thing where I've got caught out for doing something naughty, and it was a really weird way to get caught out.
Your managers currently shitting themselves.
Yeah, this is a really weird way to get caught out. I started smoking when I was like 19, I think, and like our parents would obviously come in to see us at shows at different places that were local, so they would come, or sometimes they'd come to Italy or whatever if everyone was coming over. And Simon happened to be over at the same time. So we're in the dressing room, and like Simon would just light up a cigarette, what the hell he wanted, and then we were like, I'm going to smoke here too, just to sit here and smoke with Simon, like whatever. And then my parents come in and sit with Simon as well, so then I'm like there, and I'm like, oh, and Simon offered me a cigarette, and I'm like, oh no, he goes, you smoke, don't you? And I'm like, no. But no. Well, it was the other one with the same hair. And then the worst thing, my personal trainer comes in, and he goes, oh, I've just been out, I bought you a new lighter. And it's like a lighter with like boobies on it, like the worst lighter you could ever like. And I'm sat there, and my parents are looking at me, and I'm like,
That reminds me of a story of my uncle Carl when he was younger. My nan, so his mum, he when he was a kid, he smoked weed, and he got a cannabis leaf tattooed on his bicep, as you do when you're a kid. Well, not as you do, but he did. And he fell asleep, and my nan came in and saw it, and she went, Carl, what's that? And she's like licking her finger to try and wipe it off of his arm. And then she went, that's a cannabis leaf. She went, do you smoke weed? And he went, no, I just like the design. And then she went, how come also underneath it says smoke it, Carl?
so bad.
There's no getting out of that one. Right, this has been the first half of Jack Makes Happy Hour with Liam Payne. Come back after this when we'll be talking a little bit about X Factor, the solo stuff, and lots more fun things. See you in a bit. Hello guys and welcome back to Jack Makes Happy Hour. Still here with Stevie White, still here with Liam Payne. Quite a contrast between you two, isn't there? It's like
Hold on, what do you mean?
It's like Liam Payne and Stevie White.
That's not very nice.
I bully him every week. It's fine.
Honestly, it's a running thing.
Yeah, but you get paid for it.
I'll
We've
take
all
it.
got that one mate that we just bully relentlessly. There's always
Yeah.
someone in our life.
Why do
Yeah.
I have to be bottom of that pile?
Can you think of someone that you would bully relentlessly that would always get a little woo you whenever you see him?
Yeah, my housemate. I
Yeah,
get that to him
see?
all the time.
That's what I mean.
There's always
Yes.
one. Mine's the guy who operates my. Well, he's a cameraman. I don't know if I say operates my camera. And he just constantly gets it. Like we had one at work the other day, and like we do shows, and these shows have been going amazing. I mean,
Yes.
we've been doing pretty much the equivalent of a stadium every night on these online shows, which is unbelievable. And I don't think I would have done it on a live tour, which is for me has been the best thing ever. And he was like editing some bits and whatever else, and he's got a new role at the moment. I love the way I'm like, new role, like at the moment, and he's doing with these things. And for some reason, my manager constantly, I'm that mate that he bullies all the time. So whenever I'm a bit like getting out my box at the show, going, well, the water wasn't cold enough, or I mean, I don't say things like that, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't working, and the sound desk sounds terrible. He's like, he'll remind me about it several weeks later, like, oh, you were all shirty about last week, whatever else.
You need that though.
He
You need
turned
that.
around and he says, oh yeah. I said, Connor's all right at the minute, isn't he? He's like, yeah, he's got a lot on his mind, Connor. And then I was like, yeah, he has. And I suddenly thought, not
Not
once when I'm ever performing do I ever get one level of sympathy, and you're suddenly going, what's going on in his mind at the moment?
Yeah, but that's because you're his.
This guy's got weeks to edit stuff. I have to do mine on the day. There, baby, right now. Quick, perform, monkey. He's got weeks.
I turn up and I make you do all the cameras and set all
Well,
the
yeah,
cameras up.
you've just seen. I set
And
up
he's
all
got
the
a lot, and I
cameras.
bet you they go, he's got no.
Nobody cares.
But Liam, won't you agree, right? So he sets up all the cameras, sizes it up, focuses it, and then I shut the curtain, and that's just as good as in many
Got a
ways.
lot to think about.
Yeah.
Come on.
Can I just say, right? So we were chatting in the break about Liam's channel, and we searched it up.
I found it, yes.
So
You found me.
I found it was hard.
so imagine this, right? So I'm like,
That's what she said.
so Liam's got however many Spotify plays you want to say, millions
could
and
give you
millions
that
and
as well,
millions,
probably.
right? Just loads. But I think when it comes to YouTube, it's like I'm shouting out his YouTube channel. Like, you might need to go over and subscribe. Much like Jack Whitehall, he didn't know how many subscribers he had. Found out he had 700k. So I was like, all right, we'll do a bit of charity work. We'll throw a few subs over there.
Yeah, Jack.
We ask Stevie, can you just reveal, please, how many... So bear in mind, Liam didn't know. How many subscribers has Liam got on his official YouTube channel, which, by the way, is Liam Payne Official?
So we found that,
Catchy title.
and you have 3.31 million subscribers.
Fuck off, this is my job!
He's not even trying.
I think you should tell people to subscribe to us, Liam. Fucking hell,
Yeah,
mate.
get back on your channel and say, come to happy hour.
It's honestly so. I feel such a. I just feel like a proper prick right now.
Look, it's
I've
fine.
never felt more a prick in my life.
It's fine. We've given you your shout out. You've done the Jack Whitehall. Just after this, make sure you go to Twitter and Instagram.
That's it.
Get happy hour
That's
out there. We'll accept that as fine.
Would you ever do a podcast or anything on your channel? Would you? 'Cause you could get some mad guests.
Yeah, I think so, we started doing something around this, and it's to do with. It first started off basically for all of my show ideas that have come through for this lockdown period, and the live stream's something that people have never done before. So we've been thinking of as many areas we can get it out there as possible. And for obviously people in Australia, they have to watch it like 4 in the morning or
Yeah.
whatever. And I just thought, we'll make something where we do a rewatch, and I'll watch the show with them, and we'll talk about the show. And I mean, I never watch the show back because I hate watching myself, so it's quite a fun thing to see me watch, because I just ridicule myself for like an
Yeah.
hour and 40 minutes. But it kind of is a little bit podcasty in a sense, and I thought there might be a way to do something with the fans where like you have like a round table where we'll talk about the show and watch it together, and every week we get new people on or something. So there's something in the works around that kind of idea at the moment, but yeah, I mean, I hate watching myself.
Do you? Yeah, I used to be like that, but over time, like, because I edit obviously my stuff back, you learn to kind of get used to it. But let's imagine you did do a podcast. You were the Liam Payne show, as creative as your
It's called
YouTube
the
channel.
Liam Payne Official.
Yeah. Who would you love to sit down? Anyone in the world? You've got to be alive. Who would you love to sit down with and have a proper in-depth chat to, that maybe you haven't already?
Do you know what? I did this years ago, and I've always kind of wanted to do it again. And I got the chance to talk to Justin Bieber properly.
Right.
Off camera, away from everybody else, while I was in the band. And the problem we had was we were at the VMAs, and there was a little bit of, like, obviously anyone that you become close to in numbers, and at the time when we were at our peak, it was like we were the only thing that was even near touching what Justin Bieber was doing
Yeah.
at the time. And that became a rivalry, because we're young men who do this, and there's 5 of us and there's 1 of you, and da-da-da, and whatever else. And it was just like this really stupid thing. And when really we were all actually experiencing the same sort of problem as each other. And you can see that very much in his latest release he's just done, called Lonely. And at the time I remember sitting and talking to him, and I just said, for me, I feel very fortunate to be in the position I'm in, because I had 4 other boys who were growing in the same rate as me, in the same circle, who knew exactly what it was like to be like me. For Justin Bieber, he only ever had himself.
Yeah.
There was no one who could even feel close to what he was feeling at the time that was happening, and no one that could go, chill out, mate, you're only Justin. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas if I woke up one morning feeling a bit fucking fresh, or I bought some I remember once I bought some Louis Vuitton sneakers that were cheetah ones, and I've never heard anything more about a pair of shoes in the nice shoes.
Yeah.
That's all I got the whole time. Nice shoes. So you've been shopping. You know what I mean? That's what you would get.
Yeah.
Monday morning in One Direction, you just get you want to burn things by the time the day finished. Whereas
Right.
you never had that. So when you saw him go through all that weird teenager, I'm going to fight everyone sort of stage, I can understand it. So I kind of would like to relate to him and be someone who could talk to him that had a similar
Right.
thing.
Well, so it's just you and him in a room with it?
Yeah,
Just
I mean, I had a
chatting?
really interesting chat once with Robbie Williams, which I think was really funny as well.
Oh, mad. He's meant to be sound, right?
I love him, and he was always my idol as a kid. He was the Angels was the song that was my karaoke jam I used to sing, and it's what got me into singing. And then I
Class.
saw him recently, and it was like a time machine. It was really funny. And he'd go, oh, so how are you doing with this? And I'd be like, well, yeah, no, I'm doing okay with it. He's like, well, you look a lot better than I did at your age. So, I mean, that's one thing to say. And he'd be like, oh, yeah, I bet your family's a little bit weird, aren't they? And I'd be like, oh, yeah, well, what happened here? You'll never believe what happened last week. And it was like all of these things that have not changed since he left Take That and since I left One Direction. Well, didn't leave One Direction, but was on a break.
Yeah.
Oh, no, everyone's going to care.
I love how self-aware you are, by the way.
Honestly, you have to be so careful with these things.
Oh, yeah,
Because
I know.
it will be like, oh, Liam drops hint that One Direction will never get back together. It will be the headline for the next week. And I'm like, I just don't, please leave me alone.
I was going to say, wait for that. We've got that at the end.
Sort that bit out. You know?
Well, we can cross it off now. Are you going to get back together?
We will at some point.
Yeah.
If everyone keeps asking, it's probably like everyone just sick of answering.
It's like when you're at school and it's like, are you going to kiss her? Like, are you going to get
Well, I
together?
might do,
Yeah. Yeah. Liam, you've mentioned a few times, you've been very, very honest and open, which is great, about like...
It's not for me. I get in a lot of trouble for this.
No, it's been amazing, mate. It's been amazing. But like, when obviously you join this band, it becomes one of the biggest bands on the planet, and you've been open in the fact that sometimes perhaps maybe the ego grows, which comes with that kind of style. How do you maintain being so... Like, how do you get back down to earth? How do you become grounded again?
I think it's with who you surround yourself with.
Right.
You know, I think the people I surround myself with will just bully me at certain points, and I think that not in a nasty bully way. That
Yeah,
people
yeah.
think like bullying.
Just like how me and Stevie have,
Yeah,
just like an
there's
affection.
that
Yeah.
thing, you're like, all right, a bit shirty. Oh, you've been to the gym this week? Oh.
Jack Whitehall impression coming in.
My manager will do things to me. He's like, right, you got to film this video tomorrow. Get your fat face on. Do you know what I mean? He'll say whatever to me, and I'm like, it just kind of grounds me in a sense that's like my atmosphere, which is very much like very lad humour type thing. We have a laugh with, you know, and there's nothing vicious. They're also the most caring people in the world. So if I have a problem, I can call them straight away and just be like, I'm having a real problem with this here, and they'll give me some advice. And same for them if they're having something going on, they'll call me. So it's like having that family unit, because we've had to kind of grow that around each of us in One Direction to have people that were with us. There's a very big thing for having people that were with you from the start, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, every rapper that comes in is like, yeah, I've got the same people from the start.
Yeah,
Like
day
I don't know why
ones.
It's the same in my day ones. Let's say my day ones.
I was going to comment on how you said that. And then,
Day ones.
you brothers are my day ones.
Oh my goodness. So yeah, your day ones. You know, and these people around me at the moment, they're my day ones.
Are they? So like, so
Day ones.
Sound like the guy from X Factor there.
Day ones.
Rachel Adedeji.
Wasn't bad.
How did you feel when you knew? Because I assume you knew well, obviously you knew way before the public knew, but like when you feel the band's perhaps like coming to a bit of an end, to a bit of a break, how does that make you feel?
I just think we needed it. We needed it, and honestly, if I hadn't have done it at that point in life, then I would have been more. I'm already quite crazy as it is. You know, I feel the sanity that I know I am. That makes sense.
Yeah.
And it's because I've had a really weird upbringing, and I was part of this massive machine, and I knew my part in the machine very well. Which I mean, you know, towards the end of the band became like the loud drunken one, which I was very good at that too. So I knew what I was doing every day, but then when that machine falls away and you're in the world and the world's just happening around, like, where do you fit? I've no idea. I haven't been in the same room as my family for longer than a couple of days, and I haven't done this. I haven't integrated with people in the shopping market, or you know what I mean. It's like we would go and do those things, but I had a security guard. I used to leave the car sometimes thinking that snipers were watching. It was that bad.
Really?
No, not that I thought that snipers were watching, but that was like my.
Oh, okay.
That's the energy I'd put out there.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Snipers are coming.
Just because everyone's looking at you. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
So it was like I had a security guard that lived in my house, and it was all a bit weird. And what I don't need to be that secure. I mean, I was insecure a little bit, but I wasn't that insecure.
Yeah. Don't know what for. Turning heads.
I was turning a lot of heads when I walked through the door.
I was hoping we wouldn't go there then. But
I felt it. I felt like I teed it up.
Yeah,
right.
you did. You set me up, mate.
I did.
And that's why you're coming back as a regular host. Stevie, you're out of a job, son. See you later. So where were... Oh, right. Okay, so you reminded me of a little story there. So, like, getting recognised and whatnot, and you spoke so openly about it. In Norwich, where I'm from, so people probably recognise me there more than anywhere, and they always... I don't know if you get... What? No, you won't get this. You're fucking megastar. But I get this, where they come up and they go... Like, lads do this. They pretend they don't really know where they know you're from. So they'll go, like...
No, I get a lot of
Do you?
those. Yeah. I mean, I was walking down the street the other day and someone called me Harry Styles, but you just learn to respond to all those things.
It's mad.
It's Zayn, innit?
Oh, come on.
that doesn't
Really?
And some guy came up to me at football and he was like, where do I know you from? And I always play it down because I hate to be the guy that's like, oh, you probably know me from the internet. So I was just like, oh God, I'm not sure. And then that's usually what I say. But this time I was pissed off. We're probably losing the match. And he went, mate, where do I know you from? I went, I do these YouTube videos, mate. And he went, no, I work with your dad.
I had a really similar one before where some woman in a bar was convinced she knew me and she was like going, oh, did you go to so-and-so school? And I'm like, no, I didn't go there. She's like, no, you did. And I'm like,
Just
I think
telling
I
you.
know where I went to school.
Yeah.
I don't want to be like, let's clear this problem, but I think you probably just mistook me for, like, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't want to clear this up, but at the same point, she was convinced.
Have you had the one where it's like, they say to me, are you Jack, mate? And then I go, yeah.
He probably hasn't.
No.
You people like, come up to me, hey, Jack, mate.
And they go, you Jack, mate? And I go, yeah. And they go, no, you're not. And I'm like, I'm not me now,
Oh my
then.
God, we had the worst one than that. And Louis came to work one day and he told me, he's like, oh, I had a really bad one in shops this week, and I tried to like play a joke on this woman, and she went to me, oh, are you that Louis Tomlinson from One Direction? He's like, no, I get it a lot, and she's gone, oh yeah, well, you're a lot better looking. And is it a compliment? Isn't it? You know, serves him right at the end of it.
That's brilliant. Do you, I imagine you've answered this question a million times, mate, but do you still speak to the lads?
I spoke to Louis just yesterday, actually. I speak to Louis more than I speak to anybody else.
Right.
And, you know, it's not a case we don't get on or whatever. I just think for some of us, we're all interested in quite different things. And Louis was always the one in the band that I was kind of closest with, I would have said.
Mm-hmm.
He was much more with One Direction behind the scenes of which way steering the ship, of which way the music is going. Massively. And people don't actually know enough about it, to be honest with you. But several moves I would have made that we would fall out about, he was actually more right than I was.
Right.
And on stage, if we're on stage somewhere, that's like my zone. I've done for so many years before getting to the band that was like my domain. So together we would kind of lead it through this passage together.
Right.
Mainly because we couldn't get our egos out the way to go, you're the leader of the band. No, you're the leader of the band. And no one would ever go, right, we'll do it together. You know, we still have that same shtick with each other that when I call them, I'll be like, oh yeah, if you need something for this, let me know, I've got this, and you know. So we very much help each other out in that.
Oh, amazing. And obviously now you've transitioned to a successful solo artist, which is easier said than not for me with my old jaw.
It's probably easier, don't know.
How you found that? No, that's quite a broad question, but literally, like, you now go out on stage on your own. Like, is that not...
on your own.
Is that scary?
It is scary. Do you know what? I've gotten worse with stage fright and stuff over the years.
Oh, that surprises me. Why is that?
I don't know, I just think you become more aware of stuff. And it's gone wrong a lot of times as well, I will say. It's never gone seriously wrong, but I've had moments where it's gone pretty wrong. You know,
Like you fucked up
on the words, or like I played Madison Square Garden once and the music went off. Right. You know, and when we played Wembley Stadium once, the music went off for 20 minutes. Like, how do you keep 94,000 people occupied?
When it's not your fault though.
Yeah.
It's not, but you're still there.
You've got to hold the ship.
Yeah, it's like, I remember looking at the rest of the boys, and you had one trick for the music one, which was to do the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air rap. I'd like turn and look at Louis, and then he'd go, and then I'd just start beatboxing, and then we just do this whole the whole rap, but the rap doesn't last 20 minutes. So then
You were just going,
where?
where?
So then I just fill the time as much as I can. How are we doing at the back of the room? How are we doing over there? Whatever else.
Turn into a stand-up.
Literally.
Yeah.
It's like I was sweating more than Lee Evans at that point. But you know, it's when that happens, it doesn't really go away, and I've had a really big problem with lyrics. I was taking a medication at the time. It was a prescribed medication. I wasn't like dabbling in like, to a couple of late night prescriptions. I was taking this medication, and it was to do with happiness. You know, with how happy I was with my life and whatever at the time. I'll be honest. And it was only after recent years of taking this medication that certain lights would really affect me, because they were using a medication that had a side effects for epilepsy, was what it was originally for, but you take it as a side effect to kind of like balance you out a little bit so you don't feel so numb all the time.
Right.
And I'd walk into a room, and if they had this certain light, someone would ask me my name, and I'd go, literally like that, and I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I just need 5 minutes. And it was really bad, and I hadn't clicked it was the medication. I thought I was having some sort of like mental breakdown, but there was points where I couldn't remember my name.
Wow.
So when I got on stage, story of my life, the lights hit me, and I'm going, oh my god. So then I'd forget the lyrics, and then it kind of turned into this thing where I was really anxious about forgetting the lyrics. So I often have them on like a prompter, because I just don't want to mess up someone's show.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, they came to watch it. To me, I treated like sheet music. Like if I was playing the violin, I wouldn't memorise everything. I'd learn off sheet music, and then I'd have it in case.
Yeah.
So it kind of became a big thing for me, but it's a scary old doing if you forget the words.
Mate, that's giving like that. That's making me tense up just hearing it.
Horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible. And then I stopped taking it after a while, because I'd read online there was like people who were forgetting their like dissertations for university based on this medication.
Oh, wow.
They teach classes. And I was like, I was still on it at the time, and I'm like, oh god, I've fried my brain.
Yeah. Wow.
I mean, I might have done.
Yeah. What's the best show you've ever done then? Because there's some sort of the fuck ups. What's the best ever show?
I mean, it was quite amazing. We did. I actually never say this one, but it just kind of sprung into mind. When we did the 2012 Olympics.
Oh, mad.
You know, like coming out of X Factor, and that was the first real big performance, and we were doing it on a moving lorry. So they were like going around the track, and they would go from like the Spice Girls to, you know, Madness to, you know, us. And just seeing all these amazing stars there on the day of the rehearsal and whatnot, it's just the most amazing thing.
It feels like that was when the world was good, isn't it? Like when you watch back, I've watched back to like the 2012 opening ceremony, which by the way on the podcast a couple of weeks ago I thought it was in Tokyo. I was like,
He said, where was the 2012 Olympics? And we would.
I just went blank. When you watch that back, it's such a beautiful ceremony. It's like that's when the world was good.
So you think nothing good's happened in the last 8 years?
Especially not in the last year.
Yeah, I give you that, but there's been some great years up to now.
2012 was the last good year, I reckon.
That's a big statement.
Is it?
Are you alright? Do you need a cuddle?
Any from you, Liam?
You can't have one. You can't, it's actually illegal.
Oh, yeah, true.
I mean, that is pretty mad, isn't it?
See, how shit is the world if you can't cuddle Liam Payne?
You can't, aren't you?
Not many people can.
No, but I'm in a position where I could leap over this fucking table and cuddle him right now, and I'm not allowed.
Well, I don't know what. I was going to say. He still gets a say in that.
You're really into paranormal stuff, aren't you?
I love. Do you know what? I mean, I watch this show week in, week out, right? And I watch this show.
No, we've got that now. Liam Payne wants happy hour every single week.
Liam, if you can just say the words happy hour now quickly for me. Now we can dub that, so he's going to say happy hour every single week. Brilliant, perfect.
And well, the show I watched that one, but another show that I also watched.
That one.
I forgot what it was called already.
The name of my own show. Don't be so flattered.
Liam, what's my YouTube name again? Do you remember? Or
Checkmate.
You got there. Okay,
Don't ask. The amount of times people have forgotten my name on this show.
Do you remember when you
White?
I'm taking that. That's
I was going to say Stevie Black. Just
Do you remember, what was it?
Jack Whitehall forgot. KSI forgot.
Jack Whitehall was brilliant though.
Because you've done it wrong, because your name's Stevie White, you're dressed in black.
Yeah, we should have done it the other way round.
Contrast on.
Yeah, we don't have one of these people. What are they called? Costume designers. Is that what they're called?
Costumes. Oh yeah, I just put my costume on for the day. I love who I'm going to be now.
Jack went. He was talking about duos, and for example, it was like, oh, you've got sort of like Ant and Dec, blah blah blah, and then he went, you've got Jack, mate, and you.
Who said that?
Jack Whitehall.
This is why we don't like you, Jack.
Yeah, we're still beefing you, Jack. We're still beefing you. Right, Liam, sorry, what are you saying? You watch a show every week?
I watch this show every week and another show called Paranormal, called Ghost Adventures, and it's been one of the longest running TV. I mean, I think it's like 23 or 27 seasons of the show.
Oh man!
Now imagine they go into this room hoping that goes to it, and they talk to the room. There's nothing in it. So imagine you had a show that ran. I mean, I just think it's the coolest thing ever. But I go in and shout at walls and people watch. Like that's basically what my mate does, and I think it's funny because I'm watching going, it can't be real, can't be real. And I got to know him, but he's really passionate about it. And I'm thinking, oh my God, like, this is like genuine, he's not faking it. And that's what got me into it. And then I thought, I'm not a believer because I haven't seen it and I need to see it to believe it. But I'm just like, what if it is real and there is some woman from the 1800s going, hello?
But why when people see ghosts, are they always like from the 1800s? Why have I not seen someone that was like...
From last week?
Yeah.
She might have done, but would you know?
Well,
They'd still be dressed the same.
Yeah, but they'd be all translucent.
Yeah, but they had a costume designers.
Yeah, they had a costume designer.
But then also you get a lot of people who only ever see celebrity ghosts. Like I saw Elvis last week.
Or King Henry VIII, he's knocking about a lot. Do you know what I mean? Like, for a big fella, he gets around. Like, people see him a lot. Oh, no, you're saying why don't they see celebrities?
No, I'm saying they do. Like, the Michael Jackson ghost, there was that video, wasn't there, in Neverland just after he died.
I mean, no one saw Michael Jackson when he was alive. Like,
Yeah, no, I don't... Yeah, I don't know.
We love paranormal stuff on this.
I saw a great one. I mean, I watch a lot of the show, because of lockdown. I mean, one of the worst things for me was that show had stopped. That's why I was so excited about this new episode.
Yeah.
The show had stopped. I was actually meant to go and film an episode with him, but I couldn't get to America in time. It was like a scary episode they got me in for.
What were you going to do?
There's this hotel in America. I'll get the name of it if you after. But there's a hotel in America, and basically, like, obviously there's a lot of deaths in hotels because it comes with the territory that people might die in a hotel sometimes. But there was like a number of suicides, and this girl in 2013, after the greatest year ever, had
Good.
into this hotel, and basically they had her on the CCTV, and she's really sad, but she was on the CCTV and she's like really acting very strange in this hotel. And then they found her, she was dead on the roof in like the water tank of the hotel, and they can't explain why she was there
Oh, wow.
or how she got there, or it's like really spooky.
Fucking hell.
If you watch the video of there's probably a few conspiracy places.
Elisa Lamb is her name, apparently?
Yes.
Right.
And
Wow.
I was meant to go and stay the night there,
Oh, my
try
God.
and find out more.
Would you not be scared? Would you not shit yourself?
He's done it to me. His name's Zach Bagans, and he's got this museum in Vegas. You have to go. Have to go. Like, it's a must.
What's
And
in
he
it?
has Charles Manson's ashes in there. He's got the murder kit from the other big serial killer in America. There's like real skeletons. There's all sorts of stuff. There's a haunted doll in there that's meant to be like a haunted doll.
Yeah.
I sound like the biggest weirdo. We went in there, right? Once again, my manager is a very popular character in my life. We walk in there and the guy's like, do not insult the doll, don't say anything. Bear in mind, we've got to fly home on a plane, and like we've got loads of stuff we've got to do. And remember when Post Malone went through all that random crap and they said he was cursed?
Yeah.
That was my friend.
Right.
So we opened the Dibbit box together.
Right.
And he showed me the picture of the bruise on his arm from the opening the Dibbit box that Post had sent him, and it was like, it's weird.
Yeah.
It's weird stuff. So anyway, we walk in this room and this haunted doll. Now they have this machine that goes cycles through radio stations to pick like a random word out. And if it says the same voice, it's highly unlikely that it could be anything else other than something paranormal, because how would they pick the same voice off several different hundreds of radio stations, right? The same tone of voice.
Well, I don't know what you mean. What do you mean?
So if the thing's cycling through loads of radio stations,
Yeah.
like a ridiculous amount, like 10 a second. So it's like, and it'll say like a word like blue. If you ask two questions and it goes red, but in the same voice, then it'd been the same voice.
Yeah.
This doll sat there, and my manager walks in and he goes, "Oh, why the long face, Peggy?" First thing he says, I'm thinking, don't, because you're not supposed to laugh or like look at it or insult it or whatever. So we're all stood there like cowering, like little boys behind this doll. And then they're like, the woman's like, "Oh, do you know anybody in this room?" And the doll goes, "Liam."
What?
And I'm like, "No, please, God, no." And then my manager starts like he didn't insult her or anything, but the fact that he'd said that and then he said my name after, I thought, I'm dead. And then they're like, "Who's going to win the fight?" It was the same weekend as the boxing.
You and Jack Whitehall.
And then between me and Jack. And then the doll's like, shh, didn't say anything. Asked another question, then it went, shh, Fury. It was a Fury Wilder fight.
What the fuck?
What a word to pick out, Fury.
Yeah.
Demon doll to say, you know?
Yeah. That's weird. What? And you don't think that's set up or anything?
This is the thing. I think he's so passionate about it, and like from when I've spoken to him about stuff, it's not like he'd set it up. Do you know what I mean? Like, I could kind of sense from him if he was like, "Oh yeah, but you know that this machine, you just press a button." He'd like, you know.
These people that do these ghost hunts and stuff, I am often baffled by how like they fully believe it, don't they?
They love it.
They
I mean,
fully-
I want to believe it. I
Yeah.
watch it with the ear of thinking this might be real.
Yeah.
I'm watching a guy shower a wall. Like that's where we're at. But it interests me.
I went on this ghost hunt, and it was at this abandoned fort in Harwich, I think. And these two ghost hunters took us there. I think it was a load of waffle, but there was one thing that happened at the start which was really weird. So we're in this fort, and it's like a big round fort like this with like 12 doors all on the outside. And then, what is it? Sleepy.
It's a fort. He knows what it is.
Oh,
He's
dear.
repeating your word. Fort. This is what I deal with weekly.
Yeah, but I didn't know what fort was all of a sudden.
He just likes the word.
It's just a fort. I was like fort.
And then there was a green electricity box in the middle, and I set my camera up on it. By the way, it's slanted, so it's slanted down like that. And I've set my camera on it, so my camera's facing up, and we're stood in the distance. I'm just getting some B-roll of us just stood there. And then, so this ghost hunter's talking to us about the ghosts and about all these people that should have been in there. And she went, don't say anything bad, like you just said. Like, don't look at the doll, don't say anything. So I started mouthing off at it, like acting like big man, yeah. And then, I shit you not, mate, the camera has fallen off the thing. So first of all, we're in a fort, so the wind gets trapped, so it is a little bit windy, and I'll give you that. But it's fallen off the electricity box the way upwards and down. And here's the thing, it's fallen down. It's fallen. This is the bit I cannot explain to this day, and people think when I told this on the pod before I'm bullshit, and I'm not. It turned on, it still worked, and the whole memory card. There was no footage on the memory card.
Wow.
How do you explain it?
Edit that.
Yeah.
The ghost just going to take the mick out of me.
Just formatted it.
Edit that one, mate.
Just formatted it. It's mad, isn't it?
That's amazing.
But
At least if you needed a card format.
Can you just do that for me?
It is crazy. I mean, I've had a couple of experiences in another house that was. This is the most random ghost you could have, by the way. This is the funniest one.
Go on.
And I like my house that I have in America. I was in bed, and at 3 a.m. the lights would come on in the toilet, and then the door wouldn't open, and I'm like, first few weeks, not like, and then the more time went on, it just kept happening. It was always 3 a.m., which is meant to be the witching hour.
Yeah.
So then I'm like getting a bit more spooked out, and I'm like, ooh, and then my like cleaner was saying she's like seen some stuff, and she like seen like this guy in like these camo shorts or something. He was talking about. Anyway, Cheryl was over with me one time, and she was having none of it. She was like, no, not staying in the room, not while I'm pregnant, I'm staying downstairs. So we like ended up sleeping in a different room of the house because of this stuff that's going on. And the more you like fed into it, the worse the activity got. Taps. I'd be in the shower and I'd wash my face and all the lights would go out, and then when I take my hands off my face, the lights are all out. And it was like,
Fuck
I
off.
didn't care. I was like, I'm standing my ground.
I'd have been gone.
This is my house. And then we were walking, and like Cheryl's mum has like a lot. I'm not sure what is. She believes in something, and somebody came over to her in the middle of like Calabasas, old town. They're like, you've got a ghost in your house. And they're like, oh, okay. And she describes this ghost to us that the cleaner has seen. So then she says the same things that the cleaner said she saw, but not actually being in this woman's never been to my house. Turns out, she said the guy's name's Alan. The guy who used to live there was the helicopter pilot for the shots that you see in Jurassic Park where there's a helicopter.
What?
It's the guy that used to live in the house.
Yeah.
He lived there for years, and apparently it was like his favourite place, and then he sold it on to the guy that I bought.
What, who's called Alan?
Alan the Ghost. So Alan the Ghost.
Weird surname, but
Alan the Ghost.
It's a very strange thing.
he goes by Alan. You've just said that you need to experience it to believe in any of it. Is that not enough?
No, I need to see something. Like, show me what you got.
Would you do Bloody Mary?
In the mirror?
Yeah. Would you say Bloody Mary 3 times in a mirror?
I'm a proper prick, so yeah, I probably would.
You said you wouldn't.
He did it. He did this to me. This is the thing at that museum, this haunted museum. Zach would go to me. All right, just crawl through that hole by yourself. He's like, I don't know, just go and have an experience. Things happen to them. There's loads of little holes in this house. And the house used to be Jenna Jameson's house.
Right.
That her parents lived in. And apparently there was like some weird, like satanic shit going on in like the underneath of it. So we went down underneath this bit of the house to go and stand in there. And I thought, screw it, I'll stand on the pentacle. Like that's the penta thing or whatever it is.
Why are you fucking about?
That's the star, isn't
I
it?
want to see it. I'm like, let's do it. So I'm stood there in this thing, and I'm sat there, and then suddenly you see me on the camera. I just turned because something touched me on the ear, and I was convinced there was someone next to me. So then I'm like, And I stood there and I laughed and I'm like, that can't be. Because I'm like on the show now, my mate's with me and I'm like watching the show on it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, something's just touched me, I'm pretty sure. And he's like, okay, just stay here for 5 minutes. And just left me in the bottom of the basement of the house where they like apparently like had like human sacrifice and whatever. And I'm stood in the middle of
Mate.
pentagram.
I couldn't do it.
I don't believe in any of it, and I couldn't do it.
But now you say you don't believe in it, but you couldn't do it.
That's the
Yeah.
weird thing.
But I've got to know. I'm sorry, I've just got to know.
Yeah. Do you believe in aliens then?
I watched that SpaceX thing recently, that when they, when that guy shot that thing into space,
I've got no idea.
Elon Musk,
Yeah.
and he shot that
the
spaceship. No,
yeah.
you could see it.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
at
they
the
went
same
past
time.
my house. Not literally
Where do you live? Where do you live?
Norwich. God, Elon.
That's my house.
Yeah, I saw him out the window, yeah.
But I wanted to see, like, I thought if I watch something go out of the world's atmosphere, at least I'll know if something comes in what it looks like. It was like my little theory on it. So I
Yeah.
watched it and it was weird. Did you actually see it happen? It was like a weird hole in the sky and I've never seen it before, but I'd like to think there was something out there.
I think Elon Musk can do anything, can't he? He's just one of these guys.
So amazing. I mean, he's like real life Tony Stark, you know?
That's quite a good comparison,
Well,
actually.
I feel like that's who they might have based him on.
What, Elon Musk?
No, I mean,
Who came first?
that's a good point.
Chicken or the egg?
Who came first, the Musk or the Stark?
Iron Man, surely.
What was it?
Oh, I'm going to get annoyed if I don't figure it out.
What? Hang on, are we really questioning whether Elon Musk existed before Iron Man?
I don't know what year Iron Man first came out. I know the
Robert
film
Downey,
came
Robert
out.
Downey Jr. a couple of years ago.
Iron Man's a
real-
comic book, Jack.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know anything about this,
Oh
mate.
yeah, no. But when they did the character for the film, I'm saying, did
Oh, so he
Robert
yeah,
Downey go? I know. Who this is."
based off Elon.
Yeah.
Oh.
Was Elon Musk back 2008? Iron Man, first Iron Man.
You might have known him personally.
I think we, together as a collective, have discovered a new conspiracy.
Oh, that's cool, isn't it?
Yeah, I think we have. Now, as much as I'd love to sit here and chat to you about ghosts and the paranormal all day, I think I want to finish on just your general opinions on music on a whole. So not so much your career, but just music that's out there in the ether. Liam Payne, in your opinion, what is the single greatest song ever made?
Jesus,
It's a tough one.
so you're telling me
We can go back to horse sandwiches if you want.
life was easier when the sandwiches were filled with horse.
2012 days.
2012 problems, mate. I mean, those problems were a lot easier. I might have accidentally eaten the horse, or I have to stay in my house forever.
Kung ano man, ang dami nang nakatingin sa loob.
Oh, this has had a lot of weird digressions there. Isn't it?
I love it, mate.
Digression's a word.
No, we make it a word. Fuck
Well,
it.
Elon Musk's, Tony Stark, digressions,
Yeah.
depressions.
We do what we want.
Who knows?
Do what we want.
I mean, I'm just dodging the question at this point, aren't I? Doing the old.
I'll throw some out there, see what you think. Hallelujah. Is that up there?
Which version?
Jeff Buckley, 100%. Bohemian Rhapsody, Queen. Rocket Man, Elton John.
Oh, Rocket Man is a great song, isn't it?
Yeah, brilliant.
I feel like there was a lot of. Do you know what song I really, really love? And I think the era of music, it was like. I mean, I know people have started doing like songs about like Donald Trump and whatever recently and sort of stuff, but it just doesn't seem to be like
What do you mean?
the same thing. Like someone did a song about Donald Trump recently, and
Did they?
I don't know. Yeah, I just feel like back in the day when people used to fight for like political reasoning on songs, like the last time that happened and the music that came out of it that was amazing was actually the Vietnam War. If you think about the music, I only know this because I've got this playlist on Spotify that's called Vietnam Helicopter Music.
Have you?
And the music's just the best stuff. I mean, it's,
There's a guy called Alan flying the helicopter.
Buffalo Springfield, we better stop. Hey, what's that sound?
Everybody,
What's going down?
How did you
Great song.
How do you find a playlist like that?
Because I was trying to think of something that I'd watched a film recently and there was a song in there, and then I thought I'll just search Vietnam War era music, and like because of everything was so everything in that era was really like protest and like fight the man. It was like the first time where the government had gone to war somewhere and the people went, "You don't want nothing to do with it."
Yeah.
So all the music that came out around that era, it was amazing.
There was that, hey, war, what is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Say it again.
So if I was saying eras for best music, I would say that was like, there's one song on there called Run Through the Jungle. Better run through the jungle. It's a great song.
That sounds good. Sounds good when you sing it, not when I sing it.
It's the same people who sang, what else was on there? Along the Watchtower.
Oh, yeah.
Great song.
Yeah.
Like all of that great music came from that one terrible, terrible moment in time.
Yeah. So you're going for an era rather than
Yeah,
a specific song.
So I can't think I can pick a specific song.
What about an artist?
Yeah, greatest living artist.
Greatest living artist.
Yeah. Well, shall we say greatest artist
I'd say ever, yeah.
Greatest
Go ever.
artist ever.
And it doesn't necessarily have to be them writing the songs, just music-wise and singer, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, you had obviously Elvis, Frank Sinatra. You know, for me, those people were like the spokesperson of a generation. Like, I actually think, in a weird way, like Drake is almost our Frank Sinatra, if that makes sense. That's
Right.
a really weird comparison.
Yeah.
But he was like the spokesperson, whereas I feel like Drake's like our spokesperson. You know, people say things similar to what Drake says because it sounds cooler the way he said it.
It's weird. I kind of get what you're saying. Me and Fee were talking about this the other day, and you know how through time you have these solo artists that are like iconic. So you've got like your Bowies, and you've got like Sinatra's and stuff like that. I guess you've just answered it with Drake, but I think maybe Sheeran's up there now. Would you say for these iconic?
I've got actually a theory about icons. I don't think it can happen anymore because when we used to have icons like Bowie, you know, Queen, Freddie Mercury, Michael Jackson, they were in an era where there was only 5 channels. For some of them, there was 3.
Right.
There was no YouTube. There was no anything else. So if I don't want to watch Cardi B, I could turn her off pretty much. But if you're in a household of a night time and your mum wanted to watch Elvis and you know, and once you watch him, even though you don't want to watch him, you're like, nah, he's pretty good though, and he moves their knees quite nice. You know what I mean? So it's like, I think that people struggle to make icons these days because people can split more towards the artists that they like because there's more choice.
That's an interesting way to look at it.
I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think it's possible to make. No, but now saying that, I mean, for someone like I say, I think Drake for me has always been someone that I can, you know, even when I'm feeling a certain type of way, if you know that song, any song that Drake's come on, I can bob my head in for a while. You know?
Yeah, Drake's music isn't my kind of music that I enjoy typically, but when it, like you just said, when it comes on, then I'll be
you find it hard to turn it off.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, it's like that's the thing for me. And even though for some reason at a certain point with rap music, I fell out of love with. I really, when I was wearing my gold chains and thought I was like in the game.
With the day ones.
Day ones, yeah, day ones.
With my day ones, mate. Matey. Yeah, no, you know, for me, I loved rap music. And then I think as a point, I kind of just grew away from it because I was realising that people don't really make, like, the way Tupac would make rap music anymore. Like, I often struggle to think, why was Tupac so great as he was? But then the more I listen to him compared to with what some of the stuff that you do here today, and I just think some of it's so, like, consumer driven
and shite.
Really, and a lot of it is.
Some of it is
consumer driven, and I just thought every song I hear is like. Even when Migos came out at the start, I really liked Migos because it was a fun thing to be able to go ice, ice in the background of the song. I go skr skr, you know, those are like those bits. But then I realised, and I'm listening to a song just to go skr skr. You know, that's it. That's all I want to hear.
Well, you mentioned kind of music moving away from Tupac to perhaps songs that aren't that great. Liam, I thought before we finish, I want to play you a few samples, if you will, of some tracks that are made by YouTubers.
Is this your new album that you're coming out with? Now that I've got a channel, you've thought I'm going to...
I've done a few songs and we won't go there. We will not go there.
Would.
They're comedy songs, at least.
You don't.
That's what people say. Can I play you a few YouTuber songs and see what you think of them? Right.
I'm ready.
Now, the first one, I'll give you a little bit of context behind each one, all right? These are all YouTubers, and you can be as brutal as you like, or you can say they're lovely, whatever you want. Now, the first one is actually weirdly called Naughty List, and it came out last year by a YouTuber called Calyx.
So
you've stolen the name, Liam Payne.
I'll give you a lawsuit.
Let's see what you think of this. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be a comedy song. Calyx might kick off. Let's play.
Hey Santa, Santa, here's my list. I want this, and this. Wait, let me check. There's something I missed.
Wait, hold on. You're on the naughty list, and you're not coming off anytime soon.
Hey Santa,
I knew we'd love that bit. What do you think of that? Is that...
Oh my god, it's so funny that they've had the exact same idea. But this is funny. There's actually some sort of like theorem on that people have the same ideas. all the time.
So you and Calix, you're like
We
that.
were like, you know what? Maybe he's like my weird doppelganger person that's like we think the same brain.
Maybe. Are you backing yourself? Your single's a bit better than that.
Do you have a line that says this?
Mine cost me a fair bit of money to get going.
Are you assuming that didn't?
I'm assuming it.
To be fair to Callum, that's a bit of a comedy song, but
No, it's nice.
But
I love the stop. You're on the naughty list. We went through with the Santa vocal.
next up, we will move on to two YouTubers called Mini Minter. He's part of the Sidemen. Have you heard of the Sidemen?
Oh,
Have you not heard of the Sidemen?
is that KSI's people?
Yes, it is. You got it in one. And
So the Sidemen, like, are they happy about being called a Sidemen?
yeah, that's their name.
The Roadmen, Sidemen?
No, that's their collective. It's because originally it was KSI and the Sidemen. They were just the Side Boys, and then they all joined up.
Nice for them, though, if they were, you know.
Yeah, they were just all pals, and now they're together. But this is by one of the guys. This is called Mini Minter. Now, as much as we like to take the piss, and we are having a little bit of laugh at these YouTuber tracks, I've done YouTuber tracks before. They're mainly shite, aren't they? Like, I'm not talking about KSI. He's got proper music out now that's in the charts. I'm talking about when we put stuff on.
Did Logan Paul? Was one of the
Jake
Paul's got one called Fresh Out of London.
With a song in the movie The Gentleman. One of them did.
Really, I quite believe it. Yeah,
Gentleman.
yeah.
And I listened and it wasn't bad. I thought, you know what, that's actually good.
Really,
All right.
yeah. They do surprise you, these Pauls. Logan's actually a lovely lad. Not too sure about Jake. Now, Mini Minter and Randolph. This one is called Helium. And they actually, you think it's been done in post, so the pitch of their voice has been.
The whole thing
they actually did it on
but
Helium.
you have these ideas in the studio. So I'm going to explain to you something after this one.
Okay, let me know what you think.
Fill up my cup until it's got a little more in it. My body's like a city and I'm touring it. I'll be there in a minute, yeah, I'm flooring it. There's no way that I'm ignoring this. Fill up my cup until it's got a little more in it. Her body's like a city and I'm touring it. I'll be there in a minute, yeah, I'm flooring it. There's no way that I'm ignoring this.
What do you think to that?
To do the ad-libs though, isn't it?
What do you think?
I
Good?
think it's good, but they were missing one key fun thing, which is to go in and do the ad-libs afterwards.
Oh, maybe you can add that.
I will. I'm going to do a round next week and remix
A
it.
little bit of homework. What was you going to say then about these ideas?
In the studio, these the most random ideas can happen. I mean, we had one night where I was high as anything, and I was in the room and I'd gone to the bathroom to have a wee, and I was having a wee, and we had this thing playing in the background, and I was just listening, and I suddenly just went, better than words, but more than a feeling, and I was like, more than a feeling. That's a song title, isn't it? I'm pretty sure Better Than Words is. And then I'm like, hang on a minute. I'm onto something. I've just like, you know, when you
What
feel
have
the
you got-
atom splitting. So
Oh,
I
what?
run in the room and I'm like, guys, I've got it. It needs to be better than words, more than a feeling. And it needs to be everything about song titles. And then we write this whole song, right? And the game was that we couldn't write anything down to
Right.
remember the song. And if we couldn't remember the song in the next hour, it was crap. So then
Ah.
we're going, better than words, more than feeling, being with you, dancing on the ceiling, every time we touch, I'm all shook up, you make me wanna, how deep is your love, God only knows, baby. So everything was a song title, and he made the most amazing thing, but then we realised that Better Than Words wasn't a song title, so we made the song called Better Than Words.
Oh, just so you could use that lyric
You
in the
can
other
use
one.
it. And then the whole premise of the chorus is basically like I don't know how to sum it up, because there's been like generations of people trying to say how amazing love is, but I just can't get enough of you was like the thing. It was like using all of those amazing song titles, even from Elvis, Smokey Robinson, and someone took a picture of like the records on top of each other, and it was the lyrics of the song running down. I just thought that's the coolest thing I've ever been involved in. But there was a moment at like 4 a.m. and we're in Scotland or somewhere, and I'm on the tour bus, and I can remember Julian, who was one of the songwriters. He's like a tall, lanky, like Jesus, if you can imagine, a really lanky Jesus. And he was like bent over in the bus like this with his head like contorted, and he's like, I can't remember, how does it go? And he turned to me, and I'm like, clue at this point. All right, mate, I'll talk to you tomorrow. And I'm sat there and we're trying to remember the song, and we hadn't written anything down, so we had a real nervous moment, which is obviously the stupid part of the idea, but we managed to get it back on track.
Oh,
but
mate.
these ideas do happen. I think that turned out okay.
What, the Helium one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I quite like that. I
think it
really do
worked.
like that. I do like that. Now, you mentioned you had a 5-minute rap career at
I
some
did.
point. Have you, I can't imagine you would have, but Stephen Tries. Does that ring any bells to you? A guy called Stephen Tries? Probably doesn't. Comedian,
What have you
YouTube.
tried to do?
Lots of things, and he's tried to rap, and he's done a parody of Stormzy's "Shut Up," and I just wanted to play a little bit to you now. This is ridiculous, but YouTube will go crazy for you reacting to Stephen Tries,
Right.
and he's a great comedian, so feel free to slag it off if you see fit.
Yo, couple man, call me a backup dancer, and stage of the Brits, I'm a backup dancer. If that makes me a backup dancer, on the dance floor, big romancer, check your bum.
Prostate cancer.
Doing a crossword, I've got the answer. Recross, a phrase that means be quiet. Shut up. My army comes everywhere I go. I can't run with my enemy's show. I've got a bad knee, don't you know? Every Sunday.
Physio.
Walk in the club, drinks on me. Maybe I'll have 2 or 3. Tell the
Joey's
barman,
like-
I'm 20. He won't serve me.
So Ant and Seb. Ant and Seb.
Do you like that? You were cracking up throughout that. Do you like
That was
it?
really good. I mean, it made me think of the guy in the background going, physio. Do you remember Ant and Seb from X Factor?
No.
The one who sang Mysterious Girl?
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Woman that I love.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Big up.
Yeah, my sister loves that. She sends me that video quite often, actually.
It's one of my... I just don't know how... I mean, Cheryl was actually there when that happened.
Oh,
We've
mate.
had a chat about it a few times. I just don't know how... I don't know how you go through that.
It's class. I want to finish on one more, because one of my best pals is called Alfie Indra. He helps me with a few of my comedy songs. Now, this one is about Jake Paul and Logan Paul's dad, because he was in a bit of a scandal where he kissed a few girls. And I travelled.
he liked it.
And he did indeed. And I travelled to America to meet him to try and get a little snog off him. The video is one of my best ever. And
You did?
Yeah, he wanted to. I printed out all these flyers trying to find Greg Paul, this guy, and we went to a boxing event in which Jake was fighting at, and Eddie Hearn was in on it as well, like helping me try and find him. And then
Dirty bugger.
I see him and I asked him for a kiss, and he threatened to knock me out. So yeah, in front of all the YouTubers in the UK. And my friend Alfie wrote a song about Greg, and
Amazing.
and when I told him that you were coming on the show, I thought it'd be a shame not to let you hear his dulcet tones, and you can
please,
give
let's
your
do it.
opinion.
That's great.
This is Greg Paul by Alfie Indra.
And you can say that I've been crazy, and you can say I'm being dumb, but I need to ask you, baby, Greg, will you slip me the tongue? I tried to pull Greg Paul.
You like it?
It's like some weird, twisted, like Beatles song. Greg Paul, don't make it sad.
There we go. What do you reckon, Liam?
I loved everything about the song except for the string. They came in really like Blackpool organ player in the middle of the thing.
Well, string's not cool.
No, they were not, but those weren't. There were strings and there was strings.
Alfie, you did say you had a good
I like
voice.
your voice.
There you go. Liam, thanks.
Whatever preset that string was, just never use it ever again.
Now, Liam, you're doing some brilliant work with UNICEF.
Yes.
Want to talk a bit about that? Tell us a bit about the partnership that you've got coming up.
Yes, for World Children's Day, I got to speak to this wonderful, wonderful young girl called Arij, 13 years old. And she has been campaigning over in Yemen, and basically she started off in her life in Dubai and then moved back to Yemen and realised how hard life was for young girls over there. And it was just great to speak to her. And, you know, I mean, I don't know a hell of a lot about Yemen. I didn't know a hell of a lot about her when I was meeting her. And it was basically the idea for UNICEF on World Children's Day is to give my platform away to someone like her, for her to use it properly. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
You know, because I find for me, I have all of this, let's say, power in a certain circumstance to be able to change views on things. And for most stuff, I'm not terribly educated on. You know, I can't tell you about American politics. I don't really know what's going on. I don't know enough. And also, I don't feel like I have the right to, because I don't live there. It's not, you know, I pay tax there, so that gives me the right. I don't really know, but it's just not something I comment on because it's not my country.
Yeah.
And even over here with the politics, sometimes I don't know a lot about what's going on, so I don't want to massively sway and weigh into an argument that I don't feel like I have a say in, and I should educate myself more, but you know what I'm saying. So it's great that somebody like her gets to have the platform who really feels something about the country that they live in and has something they want to say, and she had the most eloquent way and beautiful way of putting things. And the very last thing she said will probably stick with me for quite some time, actually. And it was just like, you know, what do you want to say? I said to her, what do you want to say to people who are struggling, you know? And she said, I actually don't want to say anything to the people who are struggling. What I would want to say is to the people who are all right in life, who have a nice life, who think they have a bad one, basically, is what she was saying.
Yeah.
And she wanted to say, you're very lucky to have the school and whatever else. Just don't take it for granted. And I thought for myself, in certain situations, some days where I'm like, I have the most amazing life ever, and I'm very, very, very thankful. I actually recently started jogging a bit more in London and going out to where the water is, and just kind of looking at something about water that kind of connects you with the stuff a bit. I don't know if you ever find that if you're looking out on water, you feel a bit more.
It depends on the water. If it's a shitty
emotional at
Thames.
the end of this. And I don't know, just for me, it's just like taking a moment every day to not take things for granted so much and actually be happy about stuff before the day starts to get on your nerves, because it will.
Yeah.
And just that for me. But it was, like I say, it's amazing for her to get an opportunity to speak on the platform. So I believe it's on the 20th of November.
So in a few days then?
In a couple of days, yeah.
Lovely stuff.
That she's going to be on there talking a little bit about Yemen and about her struggle. So
amazing. I think that's such a privilege, because obviously big massive celebrities like yourself, they have this influence and this power, and a lot of them kindly connect to charities and whatnot. Why did you choose UNICEF to work so closely with?
I just think the work they do with children is amazing. It's one thing to be in this position. I also work closely with another one called Trussell that I've been working with at the moment. And it was based off of lockdown and like the food buy-in scenario. I mean, we laugh about it because it was so crazy how everyone was like filling their trolleys.
Just stockpiling,
I've never eaten pasta before, but I've got more pasta in my cupboard than ever before. And it was like crazy. And then I noticed we couldn't get in the queue on like Ocado, and it was all very like, ooh, I can't get in the queue. And then in my head I was thinking, hang on, but what about all the people who are like genuinely starving these days? Like, what are they going to do? And then it was like, we need to do something. So I got, kind of banded together a manager, and we worked with Trussell very closely and managed to donate a lot of meals and different things to them. But it's just out of those things for me, I think having a child, and when I watch things now, do you guys have children?
No, I don't. No.
When you do and you watch something that has a child in, the first thing you think about is, what if that was there for me? And I'm like, I just don't know what I'd do. I find it so much harder nowadays, proper emotional soul, to sit and watch anything involving children and not be like, just take all of it, which is one for me. So I just felt like I had to get involved.
Mate, lovely stuff. Absolute pleasure meeting you as well. Thank you for coming on. And I mean, your time is precious, and you've given us 2 hours. So we thank you a lot for that, Stevie.
I've given you a lot of sweat as well, actually.
You have, mate. But it's glorious, gorgeous Liam Payne's sweat.
Sell it online with that.
With Beldafine's bathwater. There we go. No, I want to say, mate, absolutely. You're a ledge, because I would have been one of these cretins that probably sit in my bedroom and slag off One Direction and go, oh, look at them up there, blah blah blah. But when you meet people, you never know how it's going to be, and you've been nothing but lovely. So thank you very much, Stevie. Cheers for joining me.
That's all right.
This has been Jack Mate's Happy Hour with Liam Payne. Liam, we always finish on the last question.
Obviously.
Yeah.
We do tend to finish on the last question.
The same last question. Liam Payne, what is the meaning of life?
Oh my goodness. I think life's just something you're given, and you just get on with it. Whatever it throws at you, you just kind of go, all right.
If you go to the shop and the sandwich is full of horse, you just eat it. You crack on. There we go.
That's what we got today.
Liam Payne, Naughty List, out now. Check it out, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye. Jack Mate's Happy Hour.
This was a Stakhanov production.